Hey yo, I'm just realizing, I swear every time I start a live session, I have to yawn. I don't know if it's some type of brain impulse for when I click go live, but I swear I'm gonna go back and watch some videos tonight, or at least just the first few seconds. 'Cause I swear every time I start a live stream, I have to yawn. Maybe it's just because I'm fucking tired too, though. But what's going on, everybody? Derek here. Welcome. Getting ready to hop on and follow up with some of my leads, some of my previously generated leads um, that are hopefully a little bit warmer and maybe closer to the point in time where it's just a better time for them to consider selling their property. Um, Welcome. If this is your first time joining, appreciate you tapping in. We cover everything real estate wholesaling on the channel, specifically virtually wholesaling real estate, because that's what I'm doing. Living in California, sourcing opportunity out in Houston, Texas. If you're located in Houston, Texas, either physically or virtually, I'd love to connect with you. Go ahead, leave a comment on any of my videos here, any of my past videos, and I'll get notified. I'd love to link up, see if we can network, make something happen. Um, if you're not in that market and you're just tapping in, welcome. Again, we cover everything wholesaling real estate. So if that's some type of content that you're interested in, do me a favor, hit the like, subscribe, notification bell so that you can get notified when I do go live. I try my best, and I've been pretty good at going live at least once a day, Monday through Friday, covering live cold calling, lead follow up, my texting, marketing, comping, everything that you can think of wholesaling real estate. Anything that I haven't thought of, please feel free to leave a comment as well with any recommendations or suggestions on the type of content that you're trying to see. I really do want to give back and reward those who are early subscribers to the channel by tailoring the content, uh, you know, to their recommendations or their suggestions. So if you're looking to see anything specific, go ahead, drop a comment on either this video or any of my past videos. Like I said, I get notified when you leave a comment on any of them through my email. So I will see it. Um, so yeah, I think that's all the announcements that I wanted to make. I thought about it. I just went live like 20 minutes ago, or ended 20 minutes ago rather, of like an hour long session of SMS, my text blasting. I think what I'm gonna do is hold off on going live with that. I may record my screen. That's what I'll do. I'll record my screen when I'm starting to text blast because I can do that. That guy just texted me back saying he'll be ready to sell. He has 3 properties that he's wanting to sell next year. He told me to follow up early March, so I'll follow up probably late January, early February, just so that I don't miss out on an opportunity. But yeah, I think I'm gonna hold off on going live just because you can't see what I'm doing. If you're new to the channel, I do apologize. My I'm working off a little 13-inch MacBook laptop here, so it just doesn't have the processing power to be able to keep up with the streaming software. I gave it a try. I might give it another try in a little bit because now that I think about it, when I tried it out, I was at my girlfriend's parents' house and their Wi-Fi is just really poor. But I'm pretty sure it just can't handle it. The processing power isn't there, so it lags out. The frames freeze up, and it would be as unenjoyable as it probably is to just watch me narrate and talk about what I'm doing on my computer. It would be 10 times worse to even be looking at what I was trying to show you by using the streaming software. So I just try my best to narrate what I'm doing on my computer. And that's why I say I think I'm going to take a step back of doing the texting because that is really visual. Like you kind of do have to see what I'm doing to be able to get the most from it. But when it comes to like cold calling or lead follow up, I'll have the seller on speaker so you can actually hear them talk. So I think it's worth it to do without streaming software for those type of topics like cold calling, lead follow up. So today, like I said, I'm gonna do lead follow up. I'm gonna hop into my dialer, which is where I kind of have and house all of my leads that I've generated through my dialer, and that's where I will also set myself follow up tasks and calendar events, stuff of that sort. So hopping in, and then I also just have my texting software open on a different tab as well, just in case people are texting back, because that is kind of the luxury of texting, is that even if you don't catch them live when you send them the text, if they're in the middle of something, you still have that opportunity of them texting you back hours later. I'll have people text me back 24 hours after they got the text, just because they see it, or like, or they'll see it and remind them like, oh yeah, I never texted this guy back. Fuck off, which is primarily the case. But let's see what's going on. See what's going on today. Uh, so when I come into I use call tools as my dialer. So for the most part right now, I don't operate off of a CRM. So I'm only just operating from the softwares where I'm generating leads. So I have my texting software. If I generate a lead through text, I will set myself a follow-up, task on my texting software. And then same thing goes for my dialer. If I'm cold calling and I generate a lead through dialing, I will, mark it as a lead and set myself a follow-up task to like follow up with them, or whatever the case may be for that particular lead. I will just set my tasks on my dialer system as well. So I'm kind of working off of two CRMs, if you will, um, which is like not too much to juggle by any means, but I just have to remember to go into both. It's fucking cold with this window open, but I want to air it out in here. You guys ever have that problem where you like want to get some fresh air, but it's crispy as all hell outside? So I'm gonna come to calendar events, filter the results to the events start range today. I'll just, oh, come on now. Push it out like from the beginning of October. That gives me 27 results. 27 people that I've either past due where I should have been followed up with them, or like I should be following up with them today or within recent days. So I'm actually gonna go through these as well and determine if any of these are not worth me following up with, because some of these I've been following up with for quite some time and either haven't gotten a hold of them, or every time I get a hold of them, it's them telling me that they're really not interested, you know what I mean? And it's kind of not worth my time anymore. Or at least maybe not worth my time following up with them so proactively. Maybe it's like a 6 month, yearly type of follow up. So that's also what I'm going to try to be determining today when I give these people a call, whether they answer or not. If they don't answer and I've tried them multiple times over the course of the past few weeks, then I will determine whether or not I should just be pushing it out. Like this person, first connected with her back mid-October, said that she was interested in selling in possibly 4 to 6 weeks. I called her 4 days later. No opportunity to leave a voicemail. Sounds like the voicemail box was full. Tried her 4 days after that. Same thing. Got her voicemail. No opportunity. 10 days after that, about same thing. No opportunity. So this person is the type where I'm going to start. I'm going to call her right now, which is, it's been 2 weeks since I last tried her. I'll maybe push it out like one more 2 week interval and then leave myself a note saying, if you don't get a hold of her, start pushing it out a month, just because this is somebody that I'm not wanting to waste my time with. Joe here. What's going on, Joe? Got a deal under contract. Let's go. Do you send it to title or find a buyer and send both? I've done it both ways. It really comes down to, in my opinion, how confident you are in finding a buyer. I think that, and again, don't quote me on this, but and this isn't legal advice or anything like that. I want to make that clear, full disclosure. But I think that there may be some obligation that you have legally, I think maybe, to submit it to title right away. It also depends on what your contract says. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of factors. If it's a good deal, I would maybe, but it depends. It really depends. My answer to that is I've done both. The second deal that I closed, I waited to submit it to title only because my buyer owns the title company, or like he's affiliated with the title company. So I have 30 days to close. What do? Do you send first or wait? my question to you is, how do you plan to market it to your buyers? Because that's the thing for me when I'm doing it virtually. I have to schedule out a day, probably like 2 days out, for my property specialist to go take pictures. And then, conservatively, I have to wait another 24 hours to get the pictures back. And then I want to, take a day to put together a property profile and start blasting it out to buyers. So for me, I kind of am already under the assumption when I get a contract locked up virtually, I probably won't be sending it out and marketing it to buyers for another 45 days, 4 to 5 days. So in that case, I I would likely send it to the title company first, have them open escrow. If you're concerned about not being able to find a buyer or anything like that, I would just let the title company know, hey, this is my intention with this. I do intend to assign this contract to an end cash buyer. I I haven't marketed it yet, so I don't have that cash buyer. So just so you know, I don't know if you want to hold off on running the title search until I get you an assignment with that cash buyer. Whatever you want to do, you know what I mean? Because the last thing that you want to do is bring it to a title company, have them open escrow, have them run a title search, have them start to do a bunch of work on it just for you to then cancel it because you couldn't find a buyer. So I've done that on a deal that didn't end up closing. I brought it to my title company. I said, here's a contract I just got. Just so you know what my intentions are here, I do intend on actually assigning this. So again, if you want to hold off on running a title search or doing anything, any preliminary type of work on it, until I get you an assignment with the cash buyer signature on it, and wait for him or her to submit their earnest money, I'm fine with that. You know what I mean? As long as when I do that, you guys get to work on it. I wouldn't say that, but you know what I mean? Allude to that. Locally, I already scheduled to put lockbox on there, and after I will have buyers. Yeah, nice. So throw the lockbox on there. If you're gonna throw the lockbox on there yourself, make sure you get out there, you take pictures, you document the best that you can, and then start marketing it to buyers. You can hold the contract for a while, but the longer you wait to get into escrow, the seller can go behind your back because it's almost like the contract isn't valid until it's in escrow. Exactly, exactly. So exactly. That's why I say it depends on what your contract says. Um, Depends on what your contract says. If we're talking earnest money, your contract technically isn't valid until you get it to the title company and submit your earnest money. So I know people, kind of beginners, will also try to use the end buyers, the cash buyers earnest money to satisfy their earnest money that they promised the seller on the original purchase and sale agreement that's direct to seller, which isn't right. You know what I mean? If you're telling them that you're going to put up earnest money and you're going to bring it to X title company, then in all honesty, I just recommend doing that. Again, as a precaution, if you feel hesitant to do it only because you're afraid that you're not going to be able to find a buyer, just be honest with the title company. They'd much rather you be honest, and they would appreciate you being honest up front, as opposed to you withholding all of this information like it's a secret, and then them doing a bunch of work, and then you just canceling the agreement because you couldn't find, or canceling the contract because you couldn't find a buyer. They will get upset about that. You're going to tarnish your relationship with the title company that way. um, so just be open, and open line of communication with your title company specifically. The title company is a part of your team. They should be a part of your team. They should understand what you're doing, what your intention is when you bring them contracts. So it should never come as a surprise to them that what your intentions are. Hopefully you have a title company, and hopefully you've properly vetted them to make sure that they know how to do wholesale assignments, or double closes, stuff of that nature. That way you can be honest with them and have that conversation. You should be able to have that conversation with them. I have zero earnest money on there. Damn. Okay. Still, I would lean on the side of what CWL is talking about, and it is not really being valid until it's solidified, until it's at the title company, and escrow is opened. Just do it. Just do it. Do it. Do it for that reason. The fact that you don't even have to put earnest money up. That was kind of the reason why I was hesitant to bring it to the title company. It's because I didn't want to tie up my money in earnest money. It's like, it was only $100, but it's like if I can maybe find a buyer in the next couple days, I don't have to submit that earnest money. Um, but the fact that you have zero earnest money is even more of a reason to just get it to the title company, let them know, hey, I'm going to sign this. Don't have any earnest money on the contract, so I don't plan on submitting any. But I do plan on rounding back in. I don't know if there's an inspection period on your contract, so let them know. I plan on rounding back before my inspection period ends with an assignment with an end cash buyer who I plan on assigning this original purchase and sale agreement to. Yada yada. I would just do it, man. Just do it. You're gonna have to do it eventually. Get in the mindset, get in the mind space that this is going to be assigned. You will find a cash buyer. So do your part, get it to the title company, and you're good to go. Congratulations, though. I didn't even congratulate you. Though. I'm celebrating you right now. That's awesome, Joe. Congratulations. Uh, was that your first? Is this your first contract? I swear, this energy. CWL just got one last Friday, or like a week and a half ago. Fridays. Gym Shorts just got one. Let's go. Whole family out here eating right now. Eat. So I'm gonna give her a call before I start just chopping it up with you guys all day. Um, I can't remember the last. I think the last time I talked to this woman, I caught her at dinner with her husband, so it was just a bad time. But I haven't been able to get a hold of her since. This is one also, excuse me, where I probably want to start calling her at different times of the day because I think I connect with her on her landline. So this just might not be the most ideal time to be contacting her, but I'll give her a call. I need to close this window. It's so cold in here. 573-180. It's like I said, I don't know. I feel like I want to leave it cracked because I need some air in here, but it is freezing sitting right next to the window. So I mean, it's coming right through. All right, giving her a call. Her name is Miss Woodall. All right. So what I'm gonna do the same. Leave the same note. Attempted. No opportunity to leave voicemail. And then I'm going to push out this task another 2 weeks. And then possibly I already have this note. Possibly try other numbers if you can't get a hold of her on that first number. Push out monthly if no answer. Also try other numbers if you can't get a hold of her on the first number. Also try at different times of day as this is a landline. Push out monthly if no answer. Let's push that out to 2 weeks, last day of the month here. Let's get some people on the phone. Miss Lewis, she got pissed. I first spoke with her August. She said that she was interested, but she had surgery and she wasn't ready to move forward for another 2-ish months, which would have been a month and a half ago, essentially. Ran some comps, figured out the ARV, figured out what I'd be able to offer, generally speaking, because I don't know what the conditions like. And then I connected with her about a month later, the 1st of September. And when I brought up the property, she hung up on me. And then I tried calling her right back after the call ended. And then after 2 to 3 rings, she dropped it. So I left her a voicemail and saying that, I knew that she wanted to wait a little bit. So I called her again, October 22nd, which is about almost 2 months after that. Called her twice, left her a voicemail, And I said it sounded like she was screening the call because in the middle of my voicemail, she picked it up and hung up. And then I talked to her about a week ago. She answered and then hung up once I introduced myself. So this is a weird one. I mean, this is going to be one where I'm going to start pushing out monthly as well if I don't get a hold of her because it's just hard because she said that she wanted to literally sell in 2 months, 3.5 months ago. But she's also not getting on the phone and saying like, "Stop calling me," or she's not saying, "I've already sold it." Right? She, in my head, she just doesn't want to deal with it because anytime I bring it up, she just hangs up on me again, as opposed to saying, "Stop calling me, please. I'm not interested in selling anymore," or "I've already sold it. Can you please stop calling me?" That's, sh- she should know that that's the only way at this point that I'm not going to stop calling you. But it's almost like she wants me to keep calling her. This is the story that I'm telling myself. She wants me to keep calling her. If she didn't, she would tell me. She wants me to keep calling her because when she decides that it's the right time to sell, the ball is going to be in her court, and it's going to be up to her. Um, Again, the ball's in her court, so she gets to decide. Okay, I'm gonna entertain his conversation. I'm gonna entertain his phone call now. I need to close this window. I'm sorry, it's so cold. Oh, I'll be right back. 1 second. All right. Oh, damn, that's cool as hell. Gym shorts, Gym Shorts Joe. That's hella cool. I'm interested. I don't know if you're still in here, Gym Shorts Joe, but let me know if this is your first contract or not. I'm interested in knowing that. Um, Giving Miss Lewis a call. She won't be happy about it, but I need to know. You know what I mean? Tell me if you don't want me to call. I'm not leaving her voicemail because I left her one last time. I don't want to just continue calling her and leaving her voicemails. Oh, I gotta sneeze. Excuse me. Leave a note. Filed. Did not leave voicemail. Save that. Push this out bi-weekly. Oh, no. Follow up. Push out bi-weekly for now. We try other numbers. Right. Alice Graham. This is the one. Alice Graham is the one who hung up on me because she had an emergency at work. This is the one also that we've already agreed on a price and she just hasn't signed the contract. And she doesn't hasn't signed the contract because she already went under contract with another investor and they never closed on the property. She claims that it was because he was being shady, and then she also said that his claim was that she wasn't participating and didn't essentially allow him probably access or didn't allow him to close. So it sounds like he's filed a memorandum on the property, which is going to prevent anybody from closing without going through him first. So she's wanting to like deal with that herself, but I'm telling her like I can give him a call. I just need I need to put it into escrow and run a title search to determine whether or not there's actually a memorandum. I think she may just be using it as an excuse. And now, after so many conversations that I'm having with her, I kind of am feeling his pain. She's always just trying to get off the phone. She wants to sell. She's trying to just like kick the can down the road. She just isn't taking initiative. And last time I talked with her, or the second to last time I talked with her was like a week before Halloween, and she was like, "Yeah, just give me till the end of the month," which was like a week. And if I haven't gotten a hold of the other investor, like I'll give you a call and we can move forward. So then I called her. I think let's see, in the beginning of I called her on 8 days ago, at the 8th, which is like a week after she said she was going to call. And then she said that she was no longer interested. So I tried to dig a little deeper and figured out that she is only saying that because of the situation. Thinks that the other investor gave her a bogus company name info and that it's not even a real company. And I'm trying to tell her, like, all that aside, like, that shouldn't prevent you from selling if that's what you want to do. If you don't want to sell, that's fine. I'll stop calling you. But if you do want to sell and you're just not wanting to move forward because of all this other stuff that's going on with the other investor, I get it, but I can help you with that. You know what I mean? CWL, my deal closes Friday. I have another locked up in San Pedro, California, ARV 780. Been making for 10 years, but the primary owner and his wife passed. How do you deal with a home in a trust? It depends on who it goes to, and it depends on how they set up their estate, essentially, ahead of time before they passed. So if they did it properly, it should transfer to whoever their heirs were without having to go through probate. So if it isn't a trust or a what's the name of what I'm thinking of? Hey, maybe a trust. It's just a certain type of trust. But again, if they set it up properly, then it should just pass to the heirs without going through court. If they didn't set it up properly, then it's going to have to go through probate, which does not mean that you can't get it under contract with whoever the heirs may be, like their kids. But it does not. I don't think the contract is technically valid until it goes through probate and the person who you come to the agreement with actually takes title to the property. And then at that point, you would actually have to get another contract signed by that person. But it doesn't hurt to kind of lock them into the agreement mentally, if that makes sense, by having them sign a contract, coming to that agreement. Uh, Jim Shorts, this is my first one. Getting ready to send the contract to title. Nice. Congratulations, man. First contract. Please come here with any questions on how you know, should market it to buyers or how, whatever the case may be. What market are you in too? What market are you in? The new owner says some other family members may have to sign off before I take it to title. So may be the case, may not. I think they're referring to an affidavit of heirship, meaning that, correct. Let's say the wife and husband had 3 kids. Before they passed, they set it up properly so that it does not have to go through probate, doesn't have to go through court. It's just going to transfer to the 3 of them, and they will have equal ownership in the property. In that case, then you will either have to just get all 3 of them to sign that one contract, or if you're going to sign just directly with that one person that you're speaking with, and it's just you and him or her on the contract, then you're going to bring it to title. Title's going to run their search, and they're going to say, oh, it looks like their siblings are also equal owners. So then they can take an affidavit of heirship. I've never used one, and I'm still kind of guessing, but I'm pretty sure that's what an affidavit of heirship is used for. Then they can bring it to the other siblings and say, hey, CWL type has come to this agreement with your brother or sister. They have agreed to this. I don't know if you guys have discussed it, but this is what the agreement is. And if you're on board with that, I'm hoping that you are. If you can just sign off on this affidavit of heirship, which indicates that you are a party to this contract because you do have ownership in the property and that you adhere to everything that's outlined in this purchase and sale agreement that your sibling has entered into with CWL type. So it's essentially just getting them to sign off on it. But to kind of address what you're saying, I do not think that it actually has to happen before you bring it to title. Just like my situation right now with this woman, where she's like, and that's the thing. That's the thing. Addressing gym shorts as well. Nothing is preventing you from getting a contract signed by somebody, entering into an agreement with them, and bringing it to the title company. Whether or not that contract is valid, whether or not that contract can be, void if another something else happens is another story. But nothing is preventing you from entering into an agreement with somebody and bringing it to title. That's almost that's almost kind of what I'm leaning towards doing in your case because again, you get that mental commitment, right, from that one person that you're talking to. That one person's like, yeah, I'm on board. What? Like, 78, whatever you're offering. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Let's do that. But I do have the other siblings. And you can say, yeah, we can get that address once we get it to title. What title's going to do is they're going to run their title search. When it does pop up that there are other owners to the property, then we can get the proper forms signed at that point. But just as a way to not delay the process, we can get an agreement in place now. I can bring it to my title company and they can assist us in getting all of the proper forms signed off on by your siblings. And that way they can also get their title search running. That way we don't have to wait to get a hold of everybody. It can just kind of be the last thing that needs to get done, right? We can come to the agreement. We can bring it to the title company. They can run their search. I'll put up my earnest money, and we can essentially be ready to close. And then one of the last few things that we'd have to do is just get the sign off by your siblings. DMV, the area. Okay. Yep. You're ready to send a contract title. Let me know, man. That's cool. Cool as hell. Congratulations again. Congratulations. Alice, did I just call Alice? No, I don't think so. But this is the situation. And that's kind of what I'm getting at with this woman as well. It's like she feels like she has to do everything herself. Like in your case, your seller may feel like, well, I have to call my siblings. I have to get them to sign off on this. I have to figure everything out before we all sell. It's like, well, that's not the case. If you're kind of the ringleader in all of this and have already kind of given you the approval, or you think that they'll be on board with what this is here, we can get an agreement in place and I can bring it to title and do what I just said. And then worst case scenario, we bring it to title and your siblings aren't in agreement with what we've already agreed to, then we just cancel the contract. We void it out. No harm, no foul. You know what I mean? And then we just be in the same situation that we're at now. But yeah, that's exactly what she's trying to do here. This seller, she's like, well, let me get a hold of the other investor who I was speaking with before. I want to make sure that, this, that, and the third. In my case, I think she's using it as an excuse. In your case, I think there's just some education that can be dealt out to that seller. And not only education, but kind of just reassurance that not only you, but your title company or your closing attorney, whatever state you're in, not only you, but the closing agent as well is on his or her side, and they will be able to facilitate all of that. That person doesn't need to do all of that legwork up front. Let me give her a call. Alice is her name. Dodging me is her game for the most part.
Hello.
Hey, Alice.
Yeah,
Alice, how's it going? This is Derek.
I'm going alright.
Good. It's good to hear. How's work going?
Okay.
Yeah, it's not busy. Too busy? You said it's a little busy? Well, did I catch you at a good time? Yeah, she's annoying, bro. She is always at work, and I don't blame her. I get it. She may just be in the middle of something, which she likely is. But she's always That's why I asked right now. Is work busy? Did I get you at a good time? She's wait, what? Let me. Yeah, I'm gonna call you back. Hangs up. It's like okay. I'm gonna keep her. I'm gonna continue following up with her though. She calls me back today. That she calls me back. She usually does call me back. Funny enough, but I'm gonna say connected. Seller was at work and hung up on me once something came up at work. Said she'd call me back. Push this out bi-weekly. Um, I've been following up weekly with her, which is why I'm gonna start following up with her bi-weekly. Um, bi-weekly follow up. What was I gonna just say? Damn. Oh, possibly try during evening hours when she is off work. All right. All right. So these gentlemen right here, these next few phone calls are ones that my partner spoke with months ago, maybe even like a year ago at this point. But they had expressed interest in selling at one point, but ever since I started following up with them, I've never been able to get a hold of them. This is the first time where I'm gonna fuck 2, 3. This is the first time that I'm following up with them on this new dialer. What do you send to the title company? The seller name, contract, and what else? I would send them the contract. The seller name should be on the contract, but yeah, I'd include it in like text and the email as well. I would say, hey, I don't know you guys' relationship. Assuming that it's like the first contract that you're bringing them, saying, hey, I'd like to open escrow on this new file here. Here attached is the purchase and sale agreement. Seller's name is this. Sellers, I would give them the seller's contact information as well, either email or telephone. I don't know, again, your relationship. If it's like a strong relationship where your title company is willing to reach out, that would be best, so that your title company can reach out and say, hey, Jim Short Joe has just wanted to, keep you updated. Joe brought us the agreement. We're opening escrow over here at, XYZ title. Just wanted to give you a quick update, let you know that we're opening escrow. And if you ever have any questions about the title process, feel free to give us a call. That'd be ideal if your title company could do that. If not, no worries. But they will need the contact information at one point in time in order to schedule closing. So I would provide the contact information to the seller. I would also, like I said, I don't know your guys' relationship or how much about assignments you guys have talked about, being you and your title company. So either I would mention it regardless, either if it's a reminder to them or you're bringing it up for the first time. But I would say, hey, just so you know, my intentions with this is to assign it to an end cash buyer. I'm going to start marketing it here within the next few days. Not sure if you guys want to, go ahead and hold off on doing the title search until I get you the assignment from the end cash buyer, or if you guys want to go ahead and move forward now so that we can get the ball rolling. But other than that, I don't really think they need anything. Really don't think they need anything aside from the contract. Um, Contract. Yeah, they'll let you know. I mean, yeah, they'll let you know. I understand you not wanting to seem like a dummy, which is something that I am very familiar with. Uh, but imperfect action. Just send it to them. They're gonna say, "Hey, we need this too." Send it to them. Get whatever. You know what I mean? Uh, just don't hesitate. Don't hesitate in communicating with your title company. Again, they really are a member of your team, or at least they should act like a member of your team. Which is why the best title companies will do what I just mentioned and reach out to your seller when they just open the file. It just legitimizes everything. You know what I mean? My title company hasn't done that yet. I don't think that I've built enough rapport with them. I've only closed in the two deals that I've closed it with two different title companies. So I plan on sticking with the title company that I just closed the second deal with. Um, so hopefully over time, I bring them enough deals where they're willing to do that type of stuff for me. I just don't want to burden them with requesting that. Although I know that they'd be willing, you know what I mean? But it's one thing. I think it's one thing to ask them to do something for you when you're bringing them a contract, and another when you don't have anything to offer them. But the fact that you're bringing them a closable contract where they can get paid on it, they'll be willing to do some stuff for you. ARV 780 from PropStream, but comps in the area say 860. Got it locked up at 625, but it needs a lot of work, like 100K worth. I had to put down 1K earnest, so I really had to find a buyer. Yeah, man, those seem like good numbers. 860. If your comps are accurate, it'll be tight. I really don't know how buyers operate in markets like this. How much profit they're looking to take down. I follow Brent Daniels' rule over at TTP. I follow his rule in estimating how much a cash buyer is going to want to take off of the deal, and he accounts for 10% of ARV. So in that case, if ARV is 860, what he does is he multiplies that by 0.84, 6% for the commissions, the closing costs, the fees that uh, the buyer will get hit with on both the back end sale when they are listing their rehab property on market, as well as covering the closing costs on your transaction if that's something that you said that they would cover. So 6%, and then the 10% is profit. So he takes account 10% profit. So he takes ARV, he multiplies it again by 0.84, essentially 84%. So the 16% discrepancy is 10% for profit, 6% for costs and commissions and fees. So in that case, we're looking at 722. And if you're saying that it needs 100K worth of work, then we're looking at 100K, meaning that a buyer would pay somewhere around 622. So you're saying you locked up at 625. In my opinion, all you have to do is find a buyer who's willing to take less than however much. I mean, 860. Again, I don't know how buyers operate in these type of price points, but by using that formula, you're taking into consideration more than $80,000 buyer profit. So maybe you can find somebody who's willing to take 60. So in that case, like 860 ARV times, let's say 0.94 just for the costs and fees, not including buyers in that area want about 30 to 60K a deal. Fire. Okay, so 860, instead of multiplying it by 0.84, which includes the buyer profit, let's just multiply it by 0.94, which only takes into account the fees, the commissions, the cost. Now we have to take into consideration the buyer profit. Let's be conservative and say they want 60,000. So we're going to subtract 60 from 808, which leaves us 648 or 748, sorry. Less your 100,000 in repairs leaves you 648, which leaves you a $24,000 assignment fee. So definitely think it's doable. I think it's right there. You know what I mean? As long as what you're saying is accurate, as long as your comps are accurate, and as long as as long as the estimation and repair cost is accurate as well. So as long as those three things are accurate, ARV, rehab estimation, and buyer criteria in terms of profit, then that's a deal right there for sure. Got a little bit of spread on it. How do we do affidavit of memorandum to protect me? So it's called a memorandum of contract, and you file that with your county. I would only do that if your seller acts funny. So I talk about this kind of often as well. People will use the memorandum, also commonly referred to as just a memo. It's like a memorandum is used in a lot of different lines, different industries. Just a memorandum is just like a notice, like, hey, putting everybody on notice. That's why it's a memorandum of contract. Hey, want to put everybody on notice that I have this contract, and this contract says this. It's for this property. I have the intention on buying this property, so nobody else can. Which is why I personally don't file them, because one, I don't have the intention on buying the property myself, and two, there's no reason to. The only reason that you should do it, in my opinion, to operate ethically, is if your seller prevents you from closing the deal. So let's say in your case, you find a cash buyer. The cash buyer puts up the earnest money. They sign the assignment agreement. You get the assignment agreement over to the title company. Everything's good to go. Now all we have to do is have the seller and the buyer come in on the day of closing, sign what they need to sign, and for the seller to hand over the keys and for everybody to get paid. But let's say on, a day before closing, your seller calls you and is like, "I'm not going to go into closing. I changed my mind. I don't want to sell." So then what would you do? One, I think first you offer them more money. You figure out if it's about the money, which 99% of the time it probably will be. And then if it's not about the money, then I mean it's going to be about the money. If what they're expecting is beyond what you're able to offer, let's say you're going to take down a $5,000 assignment fee, how the numbers were, and they're saying that they want $10,000 more. Well, then you can't do that, right? So it may come to the situation where it's not going to be able to close because of something your seller did. And if that's the case, then I would file a memorandum. And I've never done it personally, but I know you just file it at the county clerk's office, I believe, and it just attaches to the property. Um, you know what I mean? I here is the contract. Here is the memorandum saying that this is me. This was my intention. But again, people will use that very unethically. People will file it before they even find a buyer or before they even try to find a buyer. Stop, stop. Um, and then they file the memorandum, and then they're comfortable with saying, "Well, I don't really need to find a buyer because I already filed the memorandum, so you know I'm going to get paid either way." People will file the memorandum, not even touch the file again, and then just wait a couple years for another investor to come along and say, "Hey, uh, are you going to buy this property? I see that you filed the memorandum, but you haven't done anything. So you suggest you find a buyer first and not really worry about it. Don't worry about the memorandum. Don't worry about it. Stop, stop, buddy. Come to me in like a couple weeks or when your inspection period's over. Stop, buddy, please." Um, Gosh, I wouldn't worry about it until an issue arises with your seller. Don't even think about it until your seller is preventing you from closing. That's the only reason I think that you should file a memorandum. Not to say that that doesn't happen often. I see people file them all the time for that reason. Um, but it's more of a thing when you're doing it at volume and you're getting like 10 contracts a month and five of them are closing, and then you know one out of or two out of those 10 aren't closing because of your seller preventing you. That's again, just to reiterate for the final time, the only reason that you should ever file a memorandum is if your seller is preventing you from closing. You should never file it out of fear. You should never file it because you're afraid you won't find a buyer, or because you're afraid that the buyer that you do find is going to go behind your back and go direct to seller. Don't get all that out of your head, because I'll tell you, if you go into it with that fear, if you go into it under that assumption, it will happen. But I'll tell you what, I've I've never had somebody try to go behind me. I mean, maybe I've had people try to close with the seller, but I don't know if anybody's going behind my back to do it. Stop, buddy. And that's something that you can have a conversation with your seller about as well. I know the pros will do that, and they'll say, "Stop, please." They'll have the confidence to tell the seller, "Hey, and congratulations! I just got the signed contract. Thank you so much. I really look forward to working with you. Just so you know, it happens quite often because what I'm gonna do is get this over to my title company. I'm gonna talk to some of my cash partners to see if they're wanting to ante up some money for however you want to frame it. Um, but sometimes it does happen where somebody tries to screw me out of the deal, and they'll call you and they'll offer you another couple $1,000. And for you, it's like, why wouldn't you take it, right? I get it, but all I'm asking of you is to kind of meet me halfway. I'm going to do everything in my power to uphold my obligations in this contract. All I'm asking you is to do the same. You know. All right, buddy. That's enough. Go on. Get out. Go. Jeez, this dog, man. He has really bad allergies. Really bad allergies, and he just cannot stop licking his paws. And then he'll lick his paws, and his paws will get infected, and then he'll fucking scratch his ears, and then his ears will get infected. So we have to like nip it in the bud right when it's happening to stop. He gets a pill every morning and every night for the allergies. And if I miss a pill, buddy, please, please, bud, please, just relax. It's okay. Relax. Okay? Relax. Sheesh. Can't do anything around here, man. Oh, north. Didn't I just search that? But yeah, that's my sense on that. Don't worry about it. I can tell through the questions that you're asking. It's all fear based. Um, you're going into it under the assumption that somebody's going to screw you over. Just get all that out of your head. The only thing that you should be filling your brain with is optimism and you know game plans on how it is that you're going to bring this to the closing table, and just meditate on it. I mean, I don't know if you're into that. I'm into that. Meditation and visualization. Just meditate on it. Visualize you finding a buyer. Visualize that buyer being the best possible buyer that you could have found. Visualize him or her putting up the earnest money same day when you come to an agreement, signing the assignment agreement same day after that first conversation that you have with them. Be under the assumption that your deal is so hot that you're going to have a bunch of buyers. It's going to be a feeding frenzy and they're going to outbid each other and you're going to get the most money possible on your assignment because of that. Visualize the title company being able to run the title search and be prepared to close within a couple days. Visualize the seller being on board and enjoying you and the relationship that you've built, so much so that they're not even considering going behind your back. Think of all that stuff. And I promise you, if you fill your brain with all those things, uh, that's exactly what will happen. But again, as a warning, if you fill your brain with all of the fear-based stuff, negativity, being afraid that somebody's going to screw you over, being afraid that you're not going to be able to find a buyer, that stuff will manifest. That's exactly what will happen. So I know I'm getting a little bit spiritual here, but I think it's a big part of it. The biggest part of it, in all honesty, in my opinion, is the mindset. So get in the right frame of mind. I'm going to remove this guy. This is one that I said as well. That my partner was texting him, and it was never really a hot lead in the first place. But the guy, now that I'm just looking at it, the guy owns 11 properties. He it wasn't again it wasn't moving towards a close anyways, so just gonna go ahead and remove him from the follow-up list here and on to the next. This gentleman, kind of the same thing. I've called him in a while ago. His name's Tariq, I think. Mentioned that he wasn't really interested in selling the property, but if the numbers make sense, he would entertain it. There's a tenant in there that's been there for about 2 years. She's a nurse and pays rent on time every month. Property was recently renovated, and he kept saying there were no issues as long as the tenant hasn't torn it up over the past 2 years, which they probably have. But he said he didn't have a number in mind, but he believes he owes about 70K on the mortgage. He also mentioned that a property down the street sold for about 220 after it was all fixed up. He was asking 200,000 a while back. I think we needed to be like at like 150 or 160 for it to really be a deal. This is one that I'm not going to delete it, but I'm going to push it out a while because I just don't want to. He wasn't going to sell. I remember the guy, every time I called too, it was like he just so happened to be in the middle of a meeting and he couldn't take my call. Just wasting my time. I only want to call the people who at least told me, because you'll find some people who are like, oh, I'm in the middle of something. Let me call you back. Hang up, like that other woman. I want to follow up with her, but I don't want to like be proactive about it. I want to be contacting the people who are telling me, you know what, I'm not ready right now, but please do call me in a month. Call me in 2 months. The people who tell me, or at least I have set some type of follow-up expectation, those are the people who I really want to be following up with. Somebody who I talked with 3 months ago, they told me that they didn't want to sell at that time. I asked, is it all right if I follow up maybe in another 3 months to see if you've given it any more thought? And they say, yeah, that's fine. So that way, when I call them back, it's like, yeah, hey, what's going on? No, I'm still not ready, which is fine. That's fine with me. I would much rather that than anything else. Um, this gentleman, let's see, this guy may be interested in selling in the near future. I talked to him back in June. I gave him the benefits and he seemed to like them. Asked for a text with information so that we can continue talking because he was busy with work. I started texting him. We went back and forth a little bit, but he ended up just stopped texting me back. So I'm going to give him a call for the first time in a while here. Thanks a lot, Derek. I learned a lot from these live videos. You're welcome, man. I'm glad to hear that. That's honestly really cool. I never really intended on educating here. I really wanted. When I started this, I didn't even think anybody was going to join the live sessions, to be quite honest. But that's really a passion of mine. Is I tell this to my girl all the time. I love it when people have a meeting of the minds, like when they are in agreement, and it's like it's so satisfying to me to be able to explain a concept to somebody and to see the light bulb go off in their head. And it's like, boom, I did it. You know what I mean? That gives me satisfaction and gratification. So I know that at one point in time, I plan to educate. I hope that I'm able to scale up my wholesaling business to the point where I'm able to like coach or like educate. That's a dream of mine. So it's really cool that I'm able to, help you guys out. That's something, again, I didn't intend on educating, but throughout, me doing this, I'm realizing that although I'm no pro, I have closed 2 deals. So I do have insight and knowledge that somebody doesn't have who may just be starting out. So that's who I'm looking to help right now. Somebody who's just getting their first contract, somebody who's, looking to skip trace their first list, anything like that. That's what I really want to be able to kind of reach back and guide them through those early phases. Especially because, yeah, I'm glad that it resonates with you, Joe, because that's what the problem was for me. It was like everybody was telling me this type of stuff through like the YouTube videos I was watching or whatever, but it didn't really resonate with me. And I still kind of just figured it out on my own. Aside from like the procedural type stuff, like you need this agreement signed, you need to bring it to a title company. But like when it came to like finding the title company, I just Googled, called around, came to finding movers for my first deal, called around. You know what I mean? And I surprised myself, and you will also be surprised at the amount of things that you can actually accomplish just by putting in the effort. I thought about that earlier today. My first deal, that was a story. That's a story to tell, and that's a story I'm always going to tell forever. My first deal, the tenant, which was the daughter, she lived in a pigsty with her son, the worst property I've ever seen thus far. I paid her cash for keys through Cash App. I literally Cash Apped her $500. I paid for her movers by just hopping on Craigslist and calling movers. The movers screwed me over. They didn't even move all the things that they were supposed to. I didn't pay them what they asked because of that. I It got delayed at title. The seller was under the impression that they were going to get 10,000, but little did I know they were not paying the mortgage while all of this was happening. So it took about 60 days to close. So it was like 2 more months of mortgage got tacked on top, plus the property taxes that hadn't been paid in like a year or two. So they ended up only walking away with like 4 grand. They almost literally backed out while the mobile notary was at their house. I had to schedule a mobile notary to go out there. Just so many moving pieces, but I was willing to just call around. You know what I mean? Just be willing to do the work and everything will work out. But I reflected on that earlier and I was like, damn, like there were so many moving parts. And I could have easily just been like, you know what? Fuck it. Like I don't want to have to get a mobile notary. I don't want to have to schedule movers. I don't want to have to cash app this woman $500. I don't want to have to deal with all of the emotions, the walkthroughs, the property specialist virtually. You know what I mean? I could have easily walked away from that, but I'm so glad that I didn't. All right, this guy, Armour Avenue, love the area. Jared is his name. I talked with him once again. He kind of asked me to text him, but he stopped texting me back. I'm gonna quickly run some comps. 1,000 square feet, 1,050 square feet, all 800 minimum, 1,300 max. Single family, residential. Built in 1954. I'll bring the minimum down to 1940, the maximum up to, I'll say 1965. 20 properties that meet that criteria. Let's see how many are in our exact subdivision. they don't even need to be in our exact subdivision. These are all right in the same area. So I'll just bring it back to a quarter mile instead of a half mile out, which brings it down to 5 properties. 1, 2, and 3. 1 and 2 are literally right down the street. They sold for 163 and 189. Let's see what sold most recently. This one sold in exactly a month ago for 170, which is pretty much the ARV for a lot of these properties in this area. This is the exact same subdivision or area where my first deal was, so I'm pretty familiar with this area. That one sold for 170 with one less bedroom, so I think ours could sell for 180. Ours also has 150 extra square feet, so I think ours could sell for 195. And ours has 1,400 extra square feet on the lot and is 2 years newer. So what did I just say? 180, 195. I think ours could probably sell for 200. The estimated value on it is 175. Zestimate is 176. I think ours could sell for 200. Let's take a look at some of these other comps. Oh, that one's a little bit farther out of the way though. That one's across the main road. So let me take a look at these. 163, same beds, bath, 200 square feet smaller. So ours could sell for 183, almost 2,000 smaller square feet on the lot, same year built. So what did I just say? 183. I think ours could probably sell 190. 95, I said on the first one. Yeah, so I'm thinking 190. The next one, that's kind of across the main road too. I don't want to look at that one too. This one's right around the block. So for 189 with an extra half bath, I say ours sells for 185, maybe 180 to be conservative. About the same size square foot. Ours lots a little bit bigger. So what did I just say? 180. I'd say 185 to be conservative. Between those, I think fair ARV is 190. Taking 190 times point, I like to do 0.92 as opposed to 0.94, just in case I'm not finding a buyer with the type of relationships in the industry that a more experienced investor would have. So I like to go 0.92, subtract a minimum of $25,000 buyer profit in this area, just to be conservative. I know people will take less than that, but again, just be conservative when negotiating with the seller. I want a $20,000 assignment fee. So we're looking at 130 less repairs on this place that's 1,000 square feet. So we're looking at anywhere from 70 to 120, depending on the level of repairs that it needs, or 70 to 110. 110 max. If it's close, I can push it up, knowing that I can take a little bit of a haircut on the assignment fee. So I'm gonna give him a call. I'm gonna go use the restroom real quick though. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Don't move a muscle. And while I'm gone, make sure that you hit the like, subscribe, notification bell. All right. Give this guy a ring. Again, Jared is his name. Oh, somebody moved the muscle. All right, Jared. Somebody texting me. It's my home. Don't text me again. I can do that. What I say? Yeah, anywhere from 70 to 110. His estimate is 176. He'll probably want at least 100. So I'll kind of try to anchor him below 100. Let's see if any of these went as is. I don't see any that went as is in the area. So I can't really anchor him. There's one on Pauline Road that went for like only 135. But that one sold in the beginning of the year. But that one's like the lowest comp. That one might have sold as is, to be quite honest. Yeah, I mean, given my numbers, that one probably did sell as is. Let's see if it was listed on market. I'm gonna pull it up on Redfin real quick. Let us see. Yeah, so this one did sell as is. It was not in poor shape by any means, though. It was definitely livable, it looks like. Oh, yeah, no, this place is in good shape. It's just not a brand new rehab. It could have used some work, so that's cool. Good little benchmark. Anyways, let me give this guy a call. Stalin. Oops. Click the wrong number there. Boom, Jared. I already have him saved. See what we can make shake here.
You reached 832-4192. At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options. To leave a callback number, press 5.
Hey, Jared, this is Derek. I don't know if you recall, but a few months back, we were speaking about your property over on Armour Ave over in Pasadena. You had let me know that you weren't interested in selling at the moment when we connected back in June, but let me know that you might have some interest in the near future. So just wanted to follow up, round back, see if you've given it any more thought. And if you were interested, I'd love to be able to get you an offer on that place there. Again, my name is Derek. Feel free to give me a call at your earliest convenience. My direct line here is 832-324. I'll talk to you soon. Bada boom, bada bang. Going to say dialed, left voicemail, create notes. I'm going to take note of all these comps that I'm using. Comps. And let's say ARV 190K, MAO 130K less repairs. In parentheses, I'll say 70 to 110. Save that. Follow up with him, bi-weekly. Thought that was a fire voicemail, if I do say so myself. I don't know how you don't call me back after that voicemail. Um, Billy Johnson wants to sell, but he lives there and he doesn't want to deal with everything that goes along with it. We already agreed on price, but the seller wanted to discuss it with his son. He wants to sell and knows that he has to, but he doesn't want to move everything. He wants to deal with everything that comes with it. Um, I'm gonna give him a call right now. I'm gonna get a little honest with him. I'm gonna be like, "Look, what are you trying to do here?" You know what I mean? Like, hopefully that makes sense. I'm trying to not be rude about it, but like say, what are we doing here? Should I keep following up with you? Will you sell? We already came to an agreement. I just want to know if I'm wasting my time. I don't want to waste your time either. It's kind of how I'm gonna frame it if he answers.
The number you dialed is not a
Oh,
working number. Please check the number and dial again. El número que marcó.
no, that's the number. I'm gonna try the other ones in line here. I have two other numbers associated with the property. I've never tried calling these before, so they may just be.
The wireless customer you are calling is not available.
This guy went and canceled all his phone numbers, probably getting too many calls. Last one here. If this one's disconnected too, I'm just gonna go ahead and. This isn't really anybody that I was wanting to follow up with, anyways. It's owner occupied. Kind of not wanting to jump through those hoops.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 281.
All right. First two numbers disconnected. Third number straight to voicemail. Follow up with him monthly right now. Monthly follow up. Yeah. Call him in a month. All right, Harry is this gentleman. This one was the most frustrating. If you recall, if you watch any of my past videos, I'm not even quite sure where he lives, but him and his mother and his family, there's three, it sounds like three properties that they own. I believe that he lives in one, his mother lives in another, and they rent out another. But both his mother, he's an older gentleman, his mother and his grandmother, who is obviously still alive, but they both have health issues, and he's their primary caretaker for the both of them. So he watches after his mother. His mother is a dialysis patient and is in line for a kidney transplant, I believe. So initially, that was why they were wanting to hold off on selling. He was saying, I don't know where everybody's going to be living if she gets a kidney transplant. I will likely move from this house in with her and then sell this one. And, there's just a lot of moving parts. But the problem really was that me and him were hitting it off. We were talking numbers. He was liking the numbers that I was talking about. I had thrown out like 30 to 40, I think, at one point, or I said 40 to 50, and he seemed very interested. He just wanted to speak with his mother and his cousin. His cousin at one point had done a bunch of work to the property. So he just didn't want to insult his cousin by selling it right after his cousin did the work without consulting him on like how much he thought that the property could sell for. You know what I mean? Because he probably, it sounds like, is the most educated about the real estate market, having done the work to the property. So he just wanted to consult him and say, hey, I know you did this, this, and that to the property. Now, what do you think it's worth? This guy is offering me 40 to 50. Do you think I should take it? So I understood that. But then he was also mentioning things to me like, yeah, I mean, my mom said that at one point she wanted 150 for the place. And I know that that's not going to happen. That's what he's telling me. And that's what I'm thinking too. Like, that's definitely not going to happen. And that's when I was like, well, what do you guys expect? What do you think it could sell for? And that's when I offered the 40 to 50. And he was like, yeah, that sounds good. Let me double check. And then I haven't gotten on the phone with him since. because the way that I get a hold of him is by calling the landline where all of them always are at that one property. So last time I called, I spoke with the mother, and the mother was like, "We're not interested in selling anymore. Um, if you want to buy it, 150,000." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Like, do you mind me asking how you came up with that number?" She's like, "Cause that's what we want for it." And she was just kind of really rude about it. It's That's the issue here is she has her head in the clouds. She's in la la land about what she can get for the property. Um, but the son is more reasonable and sees what's going on. It's like I hate to say it, but like he's in charge. He's taking care of and his grandmother has a early onset dementia. So like he is both of their primary caretakers. He is handling everybody's affairs. He has to like it sounds like coordinate her medical visits to the doctor. So like I hate to say it, but she doesn't really have a say in it. Although I do believe it's under her name, the property. Let's see. Let me pull up a prop stream real quick. I do believe it's under her name, so she would have to sign off on it anyways. But she just doesn't really know what she's talking about. I hate to say it. So that was the last time. Oh no, it's under his name. It's under his name. So I wouldn't even have to deal with her anyways. And the problem is, I think this has happened a few times when I've called her. She thinks that I'm talking about one property, and then I'm like, "Oh no, I'm talking about this one." And she's like, "Oh yeah, we are wanting to sell." I've called before, and she's like, "We're not selling." And I interrupted her and was like, "I know that you said that you weren't selling this property, but I was actually calling about the property over on Bell Bay. I think you said that you were interested in selling that one." And she was like, "Oh yeah, like talk to my son." So this is good. This is the first time I'm calling her back since she pretty much was like really rude to me and it told me that the property was worth something that it wasn't. I don't even know what my numbers are on this one to be quite. Oh yeah, I do. Here you go. I ran numbers: 135 ARV, 25 profit, 10,000 assignment, assuming a $50,000 rehab because the place is going to need. That's what she told me too. She's telling me that the place needs to be completely gutted and rehabbed. It's a 900 square foot property, pretty small, so 50,000 should definitely be able to, have somebody go in there and do the works on it. So I have, I don't even think. Oh, my MAO is 45, so I offered 40 to 50. I'd imagine that numbers have probably increased since I last ran them, but if I get her on the phone and I run or him on the phone and I start talking about the property, I'll run some comps. But until then, that's kind of what I'm sticking with is 45 to 50 max. I've already offered 40 to 50, so I don't think that they would remember though. And if she answers, I'm gonna ask for Harry. No answer there. I got one comp right down the street. Sold for 82. I'd imagine it sold as is. 3-1, same beds, baths, 150 square feet bigger. So ours would sell for like 82 and 67. But ours has a significantly bigger lot, but 10 years older. I'll let those offset. 67, probably as is. I don't know where I got the comps for this one. Yeah, okay. I ran comps on Redfin. So they're probably accurate. Again, the values have probably increased a little bit, but nothing to go crazy about. I'll run comps again if I get them on the phone. Dialed, no opportunity to leave voicemail. I'm going to follow up with these people bi-weekly. Haven't gotten on the phone with anybody today, really. Connected with seller, mentioned not right now, but maybe in the future. Connected with wife, said I need to speak with husband. He'll be home in 2 hours. So never actually really pre-qualified these people, but I have run some numbers. MAO is anywhere between 35 to 75, depending on the condition. So I'm gonna give them a call, see if I can get them on the phone. I'm gonna pick up the pace a little bit since I don't think anybody's actually in live anymore. It's not dialing out for some reason. Hang up and try one more time. There we go.
The Magic Jack customer you have called is unavailable to take your call. Please leave a message after the tone.
Yeah. Gonna continue trying them weekly until like maybe two more attempts weekly before I start pushing it out bi-weekly. Okay, I connected with Elvia back a while ago. Mentioned that she was not ready yet. When I asked, she stated that her grandson was thinking about buying it and moving in. He's getting married next year, um, and that is when he would move in if he were to move in. She's retired and she plans to move back to Mexico if her grandson were to move in. I received permission to follow up in 6 months to see if anything's changed on her end. Last time I called, I connected with her and she hung up once I mentioned the property. So it's another one of those. Gonna give her a call though. See if she may be in the mood to talk about it. Hey, Elvia.
Hi.
Elvia, how's it going? This is Derek. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. I was giving you a call. I don't know if you recall, a few months back, we were going back and forth about your property over on North Park Street in Pasadena.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not ready. I
Yeah.
really don't know what I'm gonna do yet.
Y- Yeah, I
I'm
know.
still working, so give me probably 1 or 2 more years, and
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I know last time we talked, you were talking about you possibly
yeah,
moving back to Mexico.
yeah, that's my plan. But the plan changed about everything. It cost me a lot of more in Mexico, and I keep have to work
Yeah,
another
yeah.
few more years.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, that sounds good. Well, I'd love to stay in contact with you. Like you said, maybe we can make something happen in a few years when you're ready to sell.
All right, thank
All
you.
right,
Bye.
thanks for taking the call. Bye now. Um, so, like she said, things change. Connected. Let Derek know that she is probably not going to be ready for another few years as her plans have changed. She does not plan on moving back to Mexico until then and continues to work herself. The plan is retire and move to Mexico, so she is waiting until it's a more appropriate time for her to do so. She says a few years. I'll give her a call in 6 to 8 months. Just glad that I was able to even get that out of her. Like I was saying earlier, that's all I want. That's all I'm asking for is for somebody to pick up and say, you know what, I've thought about it and I'm not ready. That way I can stop bothering them and I can stop wasting my time. Any plans to move to Mexico anytime soon? It's November now. I'll follow up with her maybe July. 7 months, 8 months. All right. Benny said his tenants have been there for 5 years and they are going through credit check and whatnot right now in order to purchase that place. He sounded like he had property in Richmond and Rosenberg as well, as he mentioned this when he forgot that he owned something in Beasley, the property that I was asking about. I left a note for myself saying that it's probably worth following up in a few months to check on the status of the tenants moving forward on that property there. So that's what I do. I'm gonna give them a ring, see, hey, have the tenants move forward. Last time we talked, I think they were going through a credit check. Sounded like you guys probably had come to an agreement on something. Just wanted to make sure that you were taken care of and that you were able to kind of see that transaction through. Because right now I see that it is still in his name on PropStream. I do see that he owns 5 other properties, one of them being vacant land. So, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be something where he's interested in selling at a discount anyways, or if, what his real intention with the property is. It looks like it's almost paid off. He owes about 8,000 bucks. I'm going to run comps on this super quick. Really no comps in the area. Back a year. One property within a half mile. This one is literally 2 doors down. Built 1 year older, same lot size. Ours has one less bath. This one sold for 125. Ours could sell for 115. But ours has about 100 extra square feet. Not quite though. I think ours could sell for 120. This one also sold almost 2 years ago though. So I mean, estimated value on this place is 186 now. I would have to do my homework anyway, so I'm not gonna make him an offer even if he asks. So I'm just gonna give him a call. If it gets to that, I'm gonna ask for a moment to do my homework. I just wanted to round back with him, see if it was even something that he was considering.
Your call has been forwarded to
Well,
an automatic voice message system. 2817.
attempted, no opportunity to leave voicemail. Push that out. I'll push it out weekly for now. So again, I get him on the phone and be able to confirm or deny whether or not the tenant moved forward, because I can see that the tenant did not move forward. It might have just been another excuse, to be honest. Maybe in the future, when asked how long, he said probably a few years. I'll save your number and you'll be the first one I call. This was back in June, so about 5 months ago. Gonna give him a call now, anyways. See if he's interested.
Su llamada ha sido transferida a un sistema.
Push that one out weekly until I get a hold of them. That's pretty much what I'm gonna do for all these ones that I'm revisiting, like when they told me to, I guess you can say. Then I'm gonna, follow up them weekly for maybe the first 4 weeks. If I don't get a hold of them after a month, start pushing it out bi-weekly. After 2 attempts, if I don't get a hold of them, maybe after a month or two, start pushing it out monthly. Start pushing it out, semi-annually, and then at that point, I might just kick it into like a dead lead bucket. Neil Wynn is the gentleman's name here. How's it going to whoever just joined the live stream? Appreciate you tapping in. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, notification bell before you leave. We cover everything real estate wholesaling on this channel, specifically virtual wholesale. Oh, now they're gone. They hate me. Neil Wynn, he had thought about selling in the past. His daughter lives about 2 hours away. When he was considering, he asked his daughter first. She had asked him not to sell it because she wanted it. He said that he was thinking about moving up to the lake. Don't know what that's referring to. But I received permission to follow up every so often to see if anything's changed. So I'm gonna give him a call now, see if anything's changed. If so, love to learn a little bit about the property, figure out if it may be a good fit.
That's Dave. Keep your name and number after the beep. I'll get it to you. Thank you.
Hey, this message is for Neil. This is Derek. Don't know if you recall, but a few months back we had talked about your property over on Pitts Avenue in Pasadena. At the time, you had let me know that there was no interest in selling. It sounded like your daughter had wanted it, or something to that effect. But you had let me know that it was all right to follow up every so often, see if anything's changed on your end, or if you've given it any more thought. So that's what I'm doing now. I just wanted to round back, see again if you've given it any more thought, or if any of your circumstances might have changed. Again, my name is Derek, and if it is something that you might be interested in, just as a reminder, we are looking to pick up a few properties cash, and we can kind of sell on your timeline here. So if that is something that you're interested in, please feel free to give me a call at your earliest convenience. My direct line here is 832 1, and my name is Derek. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. I'll left voicemail. I'll kick this one out bi-weekly for now. Just because he wasn't really interested anyways to begin with. So there's no point in me like beating myself up to try to follow up with him. Cecilia Connected with the property owner, say that she did not have time and asked that Derek text him an offer if he wanted to throw one out, and hung up before I could say anything else. I think this one is really poor shape. I'm quite familiar with this one because it keeps popping up. It's a shack. Straight shack. This one's gonna go for lot value, I think, unless it's been worked on. I'll give him a call, see what's going on. He's gonna ask me how much, and I'm gonna say, yeah, well, let me tell you, my partner and myself, we do have some cash on hand. We're looking to buy one more place in the area, one more property before the end of the year here. We can close. No, I'm not gonna mention that. Let me tell you, my partner and myself, we do have some cash on hand. We're looking to buy one more property before the end of the year here. So don't, not sure if that kind of meets your timeline, but we did get a chance to look at the outside of the property. Obviously, we don't know much about the inside of the property, so we would just need to learn a little bit about the condition of the interior before we made an offer. If you had a few minutes, that's how I'm going to start framing that.
Your call has been forwarded to automatic voice message system 936577753.
Not going to leave him a voicemail. I want to avoid leaving voicemails to people who are like acted this way. Like, yeah, text me an offer and hung up. I just want to try to prevent getting flagged as spam the most, because if I leave a voicemail about the property and he's pissed that somebody left a voicemail about the property, you know what I mean? Dialed, did not leave voicemail. Push him out. I'm gonna push him out like 3 weeks just so I don't pile up all these follow-ups all in the same week. First of the next month. Probably somebody that I shouldn't even be following up with in the first place. Terry Irby, this is a gentleman that my partner damn near got a contract on. We had somebody walk the property, a bunch of problems, electrical fire problems 4 years ago with fire, electrical problems which caused the fire 4 years ago, extensive roof damage, rotten wood, damaged siding. He wants 80,000. Most of the wood flooring in the house looks good, but the flooring in the kitchen is warped. Foundation issues could exist. There's some type of hole underneath the house. Electrical needs to get redone. There were several extension cords being used, which probably resulted in that fire. Could be the reason for the blackouts. No insulation, no central AC, 8-year-old water heater, roof, walls, floor need a lot of work, possibly structural issue. Windows, bathroom, and kitchen need a complete rehab. So the place is just a complete rehab. It's a complete rehab. Was expecting his $80,000, I think, asking price is way out of question. This guy was frustrating though, because we pretty much agreed to, I think, 60 or 61, something like that, and then he kept dodging us. This gentleman owns 3 properties, one of which is a mobile home and one where he lives. It actually looks like he owns the mobile home that sits on the property where he lives. He owns a huge lot of land where his house is, and then he owns this one other property that he's owned for about 6.5 years. We run some quick comps on it. Only 1/2 mile, 70,000. I think it has an extra half bath. Ours should sell for 65. Ours is 200 square feet bigger. Ours should sell for 85, but our lot size is like double, so this isn't even really a comp. I'm gonna push it out to a mile, see if anything else comes out. Yeah, so more comes up. I think it's just this area. 1, 4, and 5. 4, 130. Ours is 100 square feet bigger. Ours can sell for 140. They have a slightly bigger lot. Ours is 1 year newer. I'd say ours sells for, oh, the estimated on this is 167. I wonder what's the estimated of estimate. Because these are ones where I'm gonna likely have to rerun comps on like Redfin to get more accurate data. For some reason, there are specific areas in my market where like it doesn't really, you almost have to run comps on Redfin. So the estimate on here is 117, which makes me think the prop streams estimate is pretty far off because I'm looking at these other ones. It's just taking into consideration ones that probably are not comps. 124, 114. Yeah, I think ours is more like 130. I'm gonna give him a call anyway. Should be interesting. I've never actually talked with this gentleman on the phone. It's always been my partner.
The wireless customer you are calling is not available. Please try again later.
No opportunity to leave voicemail. Start pushing this out bi-weekly as well. Start loading these up in December. This woman was like the first lead I ever got. To be quite honest, I stayed on the phone with her for like an hour, and then I think I realized after the fact that she wasn't even actually a lead. She just wanted to be talking to somebody. Because then she started dodging me. She started dodging my partner. It was impossible to get her on the phone. All of that. So see what's up. I'll see what's going on. It was literally right when COVID started, so that's why she was considering. She was worried about her job security and all types of stuff, and she was, I think, planning on moving into a care home. She was wanting to downsize to an apartment. She hasn't really done her research, so she doesn't know how much is owed on the property or how much will be needed in renovation. She said that she wasn't wanting to pull the trigger on anything until at least November 2020. November. Let me mind you, because her boss is out of town. She's covering for him before they closed the office. So her office was shutting down. She was losing her job. Now I remember. She mentioned that she had a new roof put on 5 to 10 years ago. She installed a water heater 2 to 3 years ago and changed carpet to flooring on the interior, like to like hardwood. Unconfirmed if only a few rooms or throughout the entire home she changed the flooring. Just gonna give her a ring, revisit that conversation, see if she is interested in selling at all.
Please leave a message. At the tone, please record your message.
Not gonna leave a message again for the same reason. Haven't really talked to her in forever, and based off of my recollection, she's been avoiding us since I had that first conversation with her like over a year ago. Dialed, did not leave voicemail. I will follow up with her weekly though. for the time being. I'll call her next Monday. Jesse says, tenant decided to buy the house. If anything changes, he will let me know. I set myself a 30-day follow-up, and it's been 6 months. So I'm going to give him, or I guess I can quickly. Nope, it's still in his name. He owns 2 properties, including this one. So this is his one and only rental. Just quickly running comps on this. There's enough activity in the area. I can run comps in like less than 30 seconds. To be quite honest. So really, this is the only one. Let me push it back another year. Yeah, so I'm looking at maybe three. One of them is on the same street. Sold back in July of 2020 for 156. Extra half bath. Pretty much same size house, but their lot is about more than double. I think ours could probably sell for 140 in that case. Same year built. Number 2, this one sold for 190. Same beds, bath, 200 square feet more. So ours could sell for 170. Oh my God, this lot. Our lot size is really small for some reason. So I think, what did I say? 130, 135. Estimated value at 197. Something's going on with PropStream, I swear. Let me see what this estimate is. This estimate is probably like 120, I swear. That's how this. I don't know what's going on. Why there's such a discrepancy? No, this estimate's 216. I wonder what I'm missing. I guess if you wanted to look at these other ones that kind of cross this main road, you could, because they're still only 0.3 of a mile away, but they're in like a different subdivision, and it's almost like it says Country Club Manor is the subdivision. So I just wonder if it's like a segregated like community, but they are going for 215, 218, 210. This one went for 218 with an extra half bath. Ours could go for 210. Let's just call it to be conservative. And theirs is about 200 square feet bigger, so ours could go for 230. But then their lot size is like triple ours. But still, I think ours could probably go for like maybe 200. I don't know. This one's weird. I'll give him a call though, see if he's interested. It's open. Hey, how was it? Good. Give him a call. I wonder, there's a picture up on Zillow too. I wonder if he like listed it for rent recently. Let's see. This is from 2010.
Hello, Jesse.
Hey Jesse, how's it going? This is Derek.
Hey, Derek.
Hey, I don't know if you recall, we spoke a few months back in regards to your property over on Parr Lane.
Right.
Yeah, I just wanted to round back. I think when we talked, you had let me know that I believe your tenant was in the process of actually buying the place.
Yeah, he was trying. He was trying to purchase it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Did that up?
Hey, Derek, can I get you to call me back in about 30 minutes?
Yeah, we'll do.
All right, thanks.
All right, bye. I'll give him a ring. He's clearly got some consideration. He wants the opportunity to speak with me when he's available to actually talk. That's something that I need to get in the habit of more, as well as like asking if I caught them at a good time. So I'll give him a call around 2:15. Let me call a few more of these people. In the meantime, Thomas Zamora, $90,000. We can go and see the house. The house needs repairs. 75-year-old house and no longer has the money to maintain it. It is vacant. He listed it on market for 110 shortly thereafter. Let me see if he's. I don't think he did because I think his 110 asking price was outlandish. Maybe it's not though with the market appreciation. I remember the 90,000 probably being a little bit too high. So he still owns it. It failed on market. He listed it for a month. It didn't sell at the 110. He listed it at 115 and dropped it to 110. Didn't sell. He owns 4 properties. Does he own? No, he does not own the one that I'm looking at. This is non-owner occupied. Let me quickly run. Maybe I already ran comps. No, I didn't run comps on this. Let me quickly see. Just knowing the area, this is that same area. I think that's too high. Probably need to be around 50 or 60, depending on how much work it needs. Let's see. Bunch of activity right in this area. Most recently sold was September 30th. They went for 175 with 1 extra bath. Ours can sell for 165. Ours has almost 200 square feet bigger. Ours can sell for 185. Their lot is bigger by about 1,500 feet. So maybe like 175, 180 is our ARV. The next one sold a week before that for 185 with 1 extra bed and bath. So ours could go for 165. Ours has about 250 square feet bigger. So what is that? 10, 20. So ours could sell for 190, right? Am I doing that math correctly? 20, 165, 255. Yeah, 190 with a bigger lot. Not gonna take anything off that. 190. This one's over 139. Probably as is though at this point, at these price points. So I'd call ARV like maybe 185 to be conservative. $70. Like 135 less repairs on a 1,200 square foot home. Probably looking at anywhere between 75 to 115. Give him a call, see if he has any interest in selling. What did I say? 75 to 115. He was asking 90 and listed it for 110. So I'm in his wheelhouse right here. Let me. Depends. I mean, it says he said it needed a lot of work. 75-year-old house doesn't have the money to maintain it. It's vacant. So, yeah. What did I say? 75. So I probably have to be around closer to the 75 mark. So when I go to throw out a price, I'll say like 60 to 75 probably is what I'll open with, and then start working up from there. Because I think that I may be even able to. No, I wouldn't be able to give him the 90 at that price because of the repairs that are going to be needed to it. It's a smaller place, but it's probably going to need around 60,000 in repairs. So I couldn't do 90. I don't think, even if the ARV went upwards of 190 and I found a solid cash buyer and I was just wanted to take like a $10,000 assignment. I think max I could go is like 88. So I would need him to come down a little bit, but this is, as long as his expectations are still the same, that's, I think, the beauty in this is that the market has gone up and he still hasn't sold. So now he can probably get what he's looking for, close to it. Hey, Thomas.
Yeah.
Thomas, how's it going? This is Derek. Not sure if you recall, but we spoke about 6, 7 months ago about your property over on Crescent Drive in Pasadena.
Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to follow up. I think at the time you were considering selling, but maybe just weren't ready at the moment. Let me know to follow up. So that's what I'm doing now, just rounding back, seeing if you've given it any more thought and if you are interested in possibly selling that property there.
Okay. Not right now.
Weird. People. Um, that was odd. He just didn't want to talk, it sounded like. Not that he doesn't want to sell, but he doesn't want to talk. So I will follow up with him in a month. Uh, if all is the same and it is still vacant, he wants to sell. He just doesn't want to deal with it. Connected with seller. Derek mentioned property, and seller said, "quote not right now," and hung up. But that's another one. Again, I'm very confident in following up with him because he's already listed it on market. I know his price. It's just a matter of having a conversation with him. So going to push this one out a month. I'll push this. I'll push it out monthly, I guess, or yeah, early next month, maybe like 3 weeks. Not right now. Bye. All right. Okay. No plans on selling anytime soon. Taking a trip out there to check in on property and would like to talk then. This gentleman sounds like it's an empty property. Didn't really much of it, and that he was going to swing by shortly after we last spoke to kind of take a look at things and assess whether or not he was wanting to sell, based on sounds to me like the condition. Um, I don't see that he owns any other properties. Doesn't necessarily mean that he doesn't because this one says it is owner occupied. So maybe he sold his property that he lived in and moved into this one. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna call and find out. 185. This one sold last week for 185 with an extra bed bath. Ours gets up to 165. Ours is slightly bigger, not enough to make any difference. They have about a 1,400 square foot bigger lot. So what did I say? 165. I think ours could probably sell for 160. This other one went for 188 a couple months ago. Same case, an extra bed and bath. I think ours could sell for 168. Theirs is about 100 square feet bigger. It's 158, same size lot, pretty much same year built. So what did I say? 167, 158, and 158, 165. I think ours is like, yeah, ARV 160. Um, less repairs for a 1,200 square foot place. We're looking at 55 to 90. This gentleman's name is Thomas.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 7138
pushing him out bi-weekly. Seller stated that he received calls about every 3 days, but there was some consideration in his voice. He requested an email so that he can provide the information about the property so Derek can make an offer. The seller mentioned that properties are appraising for around 160, so he was wanting to see if I could be somewhere around there. Runs the comps. See if this is even worth my time giving him a call. He owns 4 properties, although I only see 2 of them in his name. Nine properties. How many of them are close? Yeah, bring this to a quarter mile. Gives me 4 properties that sold within the last year that meets our parameters. This one sold in May of this year for $199. Same beds, bath. We have 34 extra square feet and about 100 or 200 square feet smaller on the lot. And our build is 1 year newer, so I think ours could sell for around the same price, 200 if not more. Our estimate on PropStream is 228. This one sold for 172 in July, 200 extra less square feet. So ours could sell for 192. Yeah, I think 200,000 is accurate. In which case I would not be able to give him what he wanted, but I'm still gonna give him a call to see if he still is interested. 200 times 0.92 minus 35, which takes into account my assignment fee and the buyer profit, which is 150 less repairs. On a 1,600 square foot place, we're looking at anywhere from 70 to 120. But then again, I think ARV is 150, or no, what I say, 200. I think ARV is 200, but this right here, the PropStream estimate is giving me 228, just about 229. Let me see what this estimate says, or Zillow says rather. Zillow says 201. I think that's a little bit more accurate. Again, let me see if I'm missing something. I don't think I am. Let me just kick it out to half mile, see if anything pops up that I'm missing. Because I brought it down to a quarter mile. Just want to make sure that I'm still comparing apples to apples here, which I do think I am with all these actually, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Maybe not 9. 9's the full half mile out. But let me look at these. Let me see. Most recent sold. All these are rentals. So this one sold back in February for 201. This is 0.3 of a mile out. Same beds, bath, 200 extra square feet. So ours could sell for 180. 2,000 extra square feet on the lot. 4 years older. With market appreciation, I still think around 200 is where we're looking at. So let me give him a call, see if he even is willing to part ways.
Hello?
Hey, Mr. Stepter.
You calling?
Hey, this is Derek. I don't know if you recall, we had spoke, months back actually in regards to your property over on Hickory Glen Drive in Missouri City.
Oh, yeah. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I can't complain.
Good. I just wanted to, when we last talked, you were talking about, you receive calls I'm just looking at my notes here. You get calls all the time, and there wasn't any real consideration in selling at the moment. But you had let me know to, continue following up just in case things change. So that's what I'm doing now. Just wanted to round back, see if anything's changed.
But do you have a check price of it? I mean, I have a rental in it right now, but I mean, what type of are you looking at paying? What's the market in that for that neighborhood? Do you have an idea of what number you have in mind?
I don't have a number in mind. This is one where we've taken a look at what we're able to on the outside, but obviously we aren't familiar with the condition of the interior. So we would just need to learn a little bit about what type of repairs are needed to the place, if any. That way we can kind of come up with an offer. But if the price was right, would you consider?
Can you do me a favor?
Yeah, what's
I'm
that?
actually driving right now.
Okay.
Do you have my Gmail address?
No, I don't think I do.
Would you just send me a Gmail and I see details about the house?
Okay, perfect. I'll kind of include in there what we're looking for, so that you have something to kind of respond to.
Okay. My email address is
Perfect. All right. I'll shoot you an email when we get off the phone here, and it'll come from Derek at Path Prop TX. Again, my name will just be right there, so you'll know. Yeah, perfect, perfect. I appreciate you taking the call. All right, talk soon. Um, I think that's what he said last time. I don't know if he's really. Yeah, he requested an email so that he could provide the information about the property. I already sent him an email. This is one where he's kicking the can, but I think he would consider. He says he has a renter in there, and he's talking. We had literally the same conversation. He was talking about, oh, do you think you'd be anywhere up near where the market is? Yada yada. As long as I can get the information, I can get him an offer. But if he's not really willing to participate, but I don't want to say like, oh, he should have been willing to talk with me right there because he was driving. But um, he just continues to defer to email. We'll never be able to work a deal. But I'm gonna email him anyways. Connected. Seller was driving, said he had a renter in there at the moment and wanted to know if Derek would be able to pay close to market. Derek said he would need to learn about the condition. Seller provided Derek Gmail address so that Derek could ask any questions about the property via email. So they could stay in touch. Um, um, Let me write down his email that I got. Oh, I already have it. I'm tripping. All right. Not interested. Follow up in summer, said Conrad. I'm going to give more people a call before I call back Jesse. Maybe just this one call before I call back Jesse. Crack the window now. It's getting a little warm. This gentleman owns 3 properties. He does not live in the one that I'm calling on. He's owned this property for 21 years. Six properties within a half mile. Only really like 1, 4, and 6 are actual. Probably just one, to be honest. Hopefully this one, yeah. So this one, oh, okay. This one sold a year ago for 195. Same beds, bath, pretty much same square foot, pretty much same lot, and same year built. So 195 a year ago. Just depends on the market appreciation. Estimate value here is 215. I'd say that's probably pretty accurate. About $20,000 appreciation, which is about 10% here on this property specifically. Another one sold in March, right down the way, for 191, 96. 235, 240. Oh, that's not a comp. 6. So what did I just say? 215. I think that's accurate. Let me pull that up and see what it said. The Zestimate is 185. It's definitely more than that, but 195. I'd say like two. I'm just gonna call it 215 just to be kind of safe, and it's not really conservative, but I think it's not too outlandish either. So 160 less repairs on a 1,500 square foot place, a little bigger. So I'd say anywhere between probably like 100 to 140, depending on repairs. Give them a call, see what's going on with Conrad. Still getting some text back from the text campaign that I sent off earlier. I sent it off to 300 people. This is really gratifying, though, to clear my follow-ups. This is something that I should be doing every day.
Hello?
Hey, Conrad?
Yes.
Hey, how's it going? This is Derek. Don't know if you recall, but we had spoke, gosh, almost a year ago now, in regards to your property over on Allen Street.
Oh,
Yeah, I just wanted to follow up. At the time, you had mentioned that you weren't interested, but let me know to continue keeping in touch just in case things had changed. So just wanted to round back, see if you've given it any more consideration.
yeah. I mean, at this point, no.
Okay.
I'm not interested just yet.
Sure. Completely understand. Is there any consideration to the point where I should follow up, or do you think that?
Sure.
Okay.
No, you're welcome. You're welcome.
All right, perfect. So I'll kind of kick it out maybe another 3 to 6 months, just round back, see if circumstances have changed or if you've given it any more thought.
Yeah, that'll work.
All right, perfect. Appreciate you taking the call.
Bye-bye.
All right, have a good one. Still not interested. Gave Derek permission to follow up every so often to keep in touch. Doesn't sound like anybody else is following up with them, so I like to for sure follow up with those people because when the time comes and they are ready, you know what I mean? He's clearly considered. When I first talked to him, he said, not interested. Please follow up with me in the summer. So he's like kicking the can down the road, but at one point he probably will want to sell. So I'll kick this one out 3 months. I got 4 more people that I could follow up with right here on the dialer. I'm going to go through here just to kind of review the notes, see if has been offered anywhere from 40 to 80,000 before for the property. Says the house isn't worth anything. It will sell for lot value. Kept saying things like, I'm not stupid. Just make me an offer, bro. Said he'd sell for 100K. I just need to run comps on this one. That's what this is. It's a task to run comps and nothing more. I just need to determine if it's worth following up. So I need to check new construction in the area. I'll do that in a minute after I give this guy a call back. Or I can just honestly just push this out to tomorrow. Didn't I just call this person? Maybe I didn't push the follow-up. Dial did not leave voicemail. Yeah, I just didn't push the follow-up. See what the conversation was like. Connected with the property owner, said they did not have time and asked the Derek text him an offer. So, okay, I'm going to follow up this guy monthly. I'm going to give Jesse a call pretty much right now. I'm going to email Mr. Stepter, and then I have 3 others. One where I need to run comms for this guy. Interested, but he wants to pay down his mortgage a little bit more so that when he does sell, he can walk away with some more money. Interested, but wants to pay down his mortgage a bit more so that he can walk away with a good amount. Give Derek permission to follow up in a few months. I'm actually gonna push this a little bit. I literally just talked to this guy a couple weeks ago, but push it out just to the early beginning of next month. So pretty much 2 weeks from now, I'll give him a call at the end of 2 weeks. Figure out what to do with this lady, dig a bit deeper, make an offer, 120K for a light repair. Yeah, this is the woman, she likes to talk and stuff, but she got screwed over. She made a deal with somebody, and I told her they were going to back out, and they did. And she still has her expectations set where they told her that they could. It's like it's really difficult in these situations because people will go along, new investors. I was guilty of it, giving them an offer that's way higher than, and not even giving them an offer, probably just agreeing. I think that's what happened. She said that she needed 155, and they talked her down to 150, which really wasn't talking her down at all. And 150 was way out of the question for me. The most I would be able to do is 120 if it was a light repair. If it needed anything more than carpet paint, I was looking at 100 max. And she agreed to somebody at 150. So now it makes it that much more difficult to overcome that objection because she already had somebody come along and offer her what she wanted. Even though they weren't able to close on it, it's still to her like, well, maybe somebody else can offer me that and actually has the ability to close on it. And I'm trying to tell her, like, no, the reason that they didn't close on it was because that's way too much. They locked it up for way too high. It had nothing to do with their abilities. It had everything to do with the price. But she still is kind of in la la land about it. So just wanted to, she likes talking and she has a lot of questions always. So I really didn't want to, I don't want to get into that right now with her. She has so many pre-qualifying questions. What's your process? It was very clear that she was dealing with another wholesaler because she was describing to me what they were needing to do, all of these inspections. And she said then they came back after the second inspection, talking about how they needed it lower. They tried to renegotiate the price. So it just made so much sense to me. Yeah, they sent out the first person to take pictures. That was their inspection because she was pissed. She was like, why didn't they know after the first inspection? So what's your process like? And I was like, well, to be honest, that is my process. I'll be transparent about it, but the first person that I send out is just to take pictures. They're not going to assess damage, costs, rehab. But the second time we get in there, we are going to bring our contractors, our bankers, and they will start to underwrite the deal and they will have a much clearer idea as to how much is going to be needed in repairs and stuff like that. And then at that point, I would hate to do this, but at that point, that is when I would renegotiate. The reason why I'm offering you what I'm offering you is so that I don't have to come back and renegotiate. I don't like doing that. The only time I ever want to do that is if I made some type of an error. I'm reviewing the numbers here and I'm telling you this is how much I can offer. If that's not what you're interested in, then that's completely fine. We're not the best fit for everybody. I would just urge you to, consider it at least. So, gonna give Jesse a call back right now, and this may be just the last call I make on the day. I pretty much cleared all of my follow ups here, all of my past due follow ups as well. So I don't think I was able to run good comps on this one. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to take a look at the area after we get off the phone. I'm gonna have to set it up for a follow up call if he wants an offer and if he's willing to give me the information in order to pre-qualify him. Kind of a bizarre place, to be honest. It's on the bigger side. It looks like he bought it for 95,000. So even if it could go for like 200, which I think it's probably looking like. Anyways, I'm gonna give him a call back. Just want to make sure that it has been in fact 30 minutes. I last called him 1:47. It's been 37 minutes. 33 minutes. I kind of anticipated this to be the case, and I think that's why he asked for a call back, because he just didn't want to talk to me. And you never know though. Maybe I'm just calling back a little too early, or maybe he thought it was going to take longer than 30 minutes.
Please leave your message for
Whatever he's doing.
1-350-133382.
Hey Jesse, this is Derek. Just giving you a call back. We talked about 30 minutes ago. It sounded like I caught you in the middle of something, so just wanted to give you a round back. Again, giving you a call on your property over on Par Lane out in Richmond. Just as a reminder, we talked, some time ago about the place, and you had let me know that the tenant was looking to move forward in buying the place. 30 minutes ago when we talked, it sounds like that maybe didn't happen. So just wanted to see if there was still some consideration in receiving an offer on the place, and if you were still interested in selling. If that is the case, please feel free to give me a call back. Again, my name is Derek, and my direct line here is 832. All right, so that's that. That's pretty much all the follow up I'm gonna do. I'm gonna leave myself a note saying connected. He mentioned his tenant did not end up buying the place. Asked for a call back in 30 minutes. They called back in 35 minutes and left voicemail. I will now follow up with him weekly for the next few weeks. And if he continues to dodge me, then I'll push it to monthly or bi-weekly, bi-weekly. But for now, I'm going to just push it out till 2 weeks. I guess 2 weeks. Or, yeah. Maybe even like Saturday. I can start setting myself follow-ups on Saturday. I don't know why I don't. I want to get in the habit of doing what I did this last Saturday and just hopping on the phone. It seems to have, I seem to have more quality conversations on the weekends because people are just in generally better moods, I think. So that's that. While I'm here as well, I'm going to shoot this guy a text. What I need to do is template out some type of email. This is something that I used to do back in the day in my old company. Was again the most common emails that I sent out, I would just have a template so that I can go with copy and paste, and then just kind of edit the places where I need to edit, fill in the little slots, like with his address or whatever the case may be. I keep missing the lives. I'll catch you on the next one. Keep grinding. CWL. I'm just seeing that email now. I don't know if he's in here. I don't think he is.
Okay, there's nothing.
Keep missing. I'll catch you on the next one. Keep grinding.
Can you turn off the video?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll catch you on the next one. All right, I'm getting ready to end here, shower up, and head out myself. I think I started at 4, so
Okay.
I may or may not be gone. But if I am, have a good night. I'll see you.
Okay.
See you.
Let's go.
He's ready.
Oh, I know.
All right. Don Juan has subscribed. Appreciate you, Don Juan. If you end up watching this and you end up getting this deep in the video, sheesh, 2.5 hours. I think this is the longest live stream I've done. What did I want to do? I wanted to email this gentleman. Thanks for speaking with me earlier today about place on Hickory. I mentioned we would just need to learn a bit about the condition of the property before making an offer. In all likelihood, our intention will be to fix the place up if it needs fix the place up to 2021 standards and resell it on the open market. You're able to pay cash and able to close on your timeline for that reason. Below is the gist of the information that I will need in order to come up with a cash offer. If you could please confirm the details listed and fill in the details that are left blank, it would be much appreciated. So we'll say address, beds. What do you think? What do you think I should leave a comment suggesting to me what you think I should be asking him. I want to ask him enough information to actually be able to get him an offer, but I also do not want to ask him so much stuff that he gets turned off to even replying to the email. I even want to go back here and get rid of some of the wording that I have because it's turning into a long email already. Said, hey, Mr. Stepter, thanks for speaking with me earlier today about your place. Like I mentioned, we would just need to learn a bit about the condition of the property before making an offer. In all likelihood, our intention will be to fix the place up to 2021 standards and resell it on the open market. I'm going to leave all that. I want to be clear. I want it to be known that when I do make my offer, he is under the assumption that I'm carving out some margin for profit, for repairs, for all that, because he's looking for that retail price. We're able to pay cash and able to close in your timeline for that reason. Below is the gist of the um, below is uh, a bulk of the information that I will need in order to come up with a cash offer. If you would please confirm the details listed and fill in the details that are left blank, it would be much appreciated. So address, beds 3, baths 2, square feet 1648, lot size 4904, year built 1985. How old is the roof? AC, central AC unit, if applicable. How old is the roof? AC, hot water heater. When is the last time renovations were done to the kitchen, bathrooms, that's pretty much all I need, right? Because I'm not gonna ask like when's the last time you replaced the windows or I guess how old is the roof, central ACU, hot water heater, windows. I'll include it right there. And then when was the last time renovations were done to the kitchen, bathrooms? And then what I'm trying to say is I can pretty much infer. I can make a good educated guess that if the last time the kitchen and bathrooms were updated were like 15 years ago, then he may have gone in and done some carpet paint. But in all likelihood, if I'm going to have to replace those things, or not me, but the cash buyer, then they will also have to do some carpet paint. Uh, I think it's just a safe assumption. I guess I could just ask, when was the last time renovations were done to the kitchen, bathrooms? I'll just say kitchens, bathrooms, carpet, paint, carpet slash flooring. Paint. Thanks again for taking the time to provide me with this information. Look forward to hearing back from you and hope that I'm able to help you out the best I can. Kind of a long email, but it's all good. Let me reread it and send it off. Hey, thanks for speaking with me earlier today about your place. Like I mentioned, we would just need to learn a bit about the condition of the property before making an offer. In all likelihood, our intention will be to fix the place up to 2021 standards and resell it on the open market. So I'm going to mention, or is that implied? Should I say, so we would have to consider the cost of renovation and profit margins? I think it's implied. We're able to pay cash and able to close on your timeline for that reason. Below is a bulk of the information that I will need in order to come up with a cash offer. If you can please confirm the details listed and fill in the details that are left blank, it would be much appreciated. I'm going to highlight try to. I guess I can't. I used to be able to highlight Oh well. How old is the roof? Central AC unit, if applicable. Hot water heater. Windows. When was the last time renovations were done to the kitchen, bathrooms, carpet slash flooring, paint? That's like not that much information at all. He should respond to that. Thanks again for taking the time to provide me with this information. I look forward to hearing back from you and hope that I'm able to help you out the best I can. Best, Derek. Boom. Come in here. I'm going to emailed seller asking about condition of the property. And then I'm going to take this one. I'm going to push it out a week to see if he emailed back. Has seller emailed back? If not, follow up via email. Push out 2 weeks. And if still no response via email, follow up via telephone. All right, should I call this last guy? He really, I mean, I don't think this is one that's going to turn into a deal, but I never, you never know. This is one where I generated the lead a while back. There was some consideration in his voice, which is why I followed up with him and pre-qualified him in the first place. But I think at one point my partner followed up with him and he was like, no, we're not interested, if I remember correctly. Okay, something just popped up too, where I was supposed to call this guy today, so maybe I'll call him. Her and her husband are doing repairs themselves, open to hearing a cash offer and as is condition if the price is right. Didn't have a realtor that they wanted to work with. She mentioned that they were going to try to list it for sale by owner. Her name is Carmen. I called her back, connected with her. She mentioned that the following has been done. She tore down the shed. The kitchen is somewhat repaired with new cabinets and tile flooring. The floor in the other rooms need replaced. The roof leaks and needs to be replaced. She's owned the property for 30 years. No central AC. Bathrooms need repaired. Siding needs replacing. They own the property as a rental and are leasing a property themselves in Cyprus. Their goal is to put some money into this property, sell it for as much as they can, and then purchase another place in Cyprus for themselves. This property is owned free and clear with no liens. The seller's asking 70, and I offered anywhere between 35 and 50. She mentioned she had an offer for 35 a few years back and didn't accept it. Derek received permission to follow up every 30 to 45 days to check in on their progress. I last spoke with her 13 days ago, only because I think I ran the comps and the ARV is much higher than I anticipated. And I think that I can go upwards of, 80,000, which is beyond her asking price. So this may be a deal that I'm able to finesse right now, which would be hella cool. I'm going to take a peek at these other comps to make sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm confident in my ability to run comps. I don't know why I have to double check. So I have ARV at 215 times 0.92, assuming that a buyer wants 25, I want 15, let's say 40,000 for profit margin, which leaves me at 158, less repairs on a little over 1,500 square foot place. Let's call it, max repairs on this place, 60. I'm just going to treat it like it's under 1,500 square feet, 20, 40, 60. So like, it does need the works too. So I think I could probably even go upwards of 100. Even if it needed 80, I think I could offer 80 max. So I'm going to just work off of her asking price, see if she's, I just want to make sure that it's something that she wants to consider. Because I could do that, I just want to make sure that that's something that she's wanting. Is that something that you really want? Because I think that I may be able to be close. That's how I'm going to frame it. I was thinking 35 to 50 when we first talked, but I took a moment. What did I say? I want to say follow up with seller. If comps justify the increase in offer, do it and close this up. Yeah, so I'm just gonna give her a call, and I just want to make sure that it is, if I could, I know that you guys have the intention on doing the repairs yourself, but and that you were wanting 100,000 for it after you sold, but if I could be close to that, 70,000 that it sounds like you're asking for, and it's as is condition, is that something that you're wanting? I just want to make sure, kind of frame it like that, like because I don't want to force you to sell your place.
Hello?
Hey, Carmen.
Yes?
Carmen, this is Derek. How's it going?
Yes, going good.
Good, good. I don't know if you recall, we had spoken a few weeks back in regards to your property over on Wellington.
Yes.
Yeah, at the time, I know you were kind of mentioning that, you and your husband were wanting to do the repairs and then listed on, I believe, on market after the fact, just trying to get top dollar for the place. Is that correct?
We're trying to see what we're able to get for it
Yeah.
after the repairs and everything, but like kind of right now, we're actually fixing the roof and everything. We've done the roof already and everything, so we're kind of off on selling it right now.
Oh, okay. Very cool. Yeah, and I wanted to round back because I don't know if you recall, but I'd love to be able to just get you an offer on the as is condition of it. That's how we typically like to buy our properties.
Mhm.
We have cash on hand and we can buy it in its as is condition, and we do prefer to pick up some properties that needs a little bit of love so that we
Yeah.
can do the repairs. And I just wanted to round back because I did take a look, and I think that you were I believe you were somewhere around, 70,000 if you were to sell it as is and in its current state. I took a look at the market. I think initially I was thinking more like 50, but some of the activity in the market kind of justifies a little bit of an increase there. So I just wanted to
Yeah.
feel it out. I wanted to feel it out to see if I could, be somewhere close to that $70,000 mark if it was something that you were really even interested in, because I know that you guys have already pretty much committed to doing the repairs, but just wanted to feel it out to see if I was able to get you a price that you'd be happy with, if you were kind of willing to just sell it in its as is condition.
Mhm. Well, at the moment, we're not. I said we're not gonna sell that. We're debating on still what to do with it yet.
Sure.
We're contemplating on even moving back in the property. So
Ah,
we're not sure yet.
yeah.
The decision we're gonna make, but for the meantime, we're just doing the repairs already.
Right, right.
Like I said, we did the roof already, and we're working on everything else.
Good, good. Yeah.
We're gonna see what else. What's next? We're gonna say.
Right. I remember you saying, I believe you guys are leasing right now in Cyprus, and the goal is to be able to buy a place after you sell this place right here in Houston, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, I just wanted to again feel it out. It sounds like you guys are committed, but just wanted to throw it out there. Even if I could get you that 70,000, you think you'd still be wanting to do the repairs and fix it up and sell it?
We'll have to speak with my husband about it and see what he would think of everything, and then make a decision. Then,
Sure. Sure.
but
Absolutely. Absolutely. I wouldn't want you to make a decision without him anyway. So, why
yeah,
don't
so
why?
I could bring it speak with him about it and see. But yeah, I mean, if this is the number that you have, well, I'll contact you back and let you know what my husband said.
Sure. Yeah, I was gonna say, why don't we do this? Because I am pretty confident in that number right there, the 70,000 mark. So why don't we just treat it as if that is my offer right now? I still need to do a little bit of homework and to be sure if that's the number that I'm able to do. But yeah, see how he feels about that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, if you
I'll let you know. He's out of town. He's working out of town right now, so
okay, okay.
he won't be back around till another month.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, if again, even if it's something that it seems interesting to you, and, I won't have my feelings hurt if you call me back and say, you know what, 70,000 isn't going to cut it. But I would at least like to know kind of where you guys are at, um,
Uh-huh.
because if it's something close, if it's something in that ballpark, I can try to get approval, see if we can come up any more. Um,
Uh-huh.
because yeah, I mean, I know everybody wants different things. If it was me, I
Yeah.
guess personally, I wouldn't want to do the repairs, but
But I understand that you guys have already pretty much committed. It sounds like you've done half of it or a good portion of
Yes,
it. So
yes,
so let me know what he
yes.
thinks. Let me know if he.
I will. I'll speak with him and I'll let you. I'll get back with you. I'll have your information and
All
I'll
right,
get back with you and let you know.
perfect. I appreciate you taking the call,
Okay.
Carmen.
You're welcome.
All
Thank you.
right, talk soon.
Bye.
Bye now. It's hard. She's always wanting to like shoo me off the phone. And I really want her to bring that to her husband because he would take it. Nobody wants to do repairs. Nobody wants to do that. They're already hiring. They're talking about moving back into the play because they're spending a bunch of money. You know what I mean? Everybody has a price. Everybody has a price, whether it's as is or not. Um, she doesn't even know. It's so frustrating. They're doing the repairs and they don't even know how much they're gonna ask. They don't know what they're doing the repairs for. They're just spending money aimlessly. They're just spending and then not having any idea if they're even gonna get a return on their investment. You know what I mean? Like, why didn't you sit down and have this conversation with your husband before you guys started fixing the roof and doing all this stuff? I don't know. That's just my opinion. It's kind of silly for me to hear her say that. Like, to just like really be pushing me to the wayside with my cash as is offer when I just pretty much told her I'll give you what you want. Um, she's just not the decision maker. It's her husband. She said her husband's out of town for a month. Um, I'll give her a call in 3 weeks because this is frustrating because it's a deal. Like I said, and especially now that they've done the roof, I could probably be, what did I say? Upwards of, let's just run the numbers again real quick. 215 ARV. For a sizable assignment, $15,000 assignment fee, and the repairs. If she's already replaced the roof on a 1,500 square foot place, thinking like 50 tops. I could be over 100,000 on this and still take down a sizable assignment fee. But I don't want to just be like, how about 80? How about 90? You know what I mean? She's not willing to go back and forth with me. She's just like telling me no, whatever number. And that's why I ended up switching to like, no matter how much I offer you, you're just gonna do the repairs and without knowing how much you're gonna sell it for or how much you're gonna make. It's like, what are you talking about? So she's just she's treating me as any other unsolicited telemarketer. You can hear it in her tone of voice. She's just not giving me the benefit of the doubt. She's not, I hate to say it, but like treating me with respect. She's just kind of like shooing me away. Like, oh yeah, yeah, we're just gonna do it this way. It's like, okay, no matter how much I pay you, yeah, like I said, we're just gonna do it this way. We don't really know. We haven't decided what the best move is. And to me, again, I'm thinking in my head, well, then why the hell are you doing the repairs if you don't even know what you're going to do with the place? But definitely going to stay in contact now that I know that I can be that high on the price. She was talking about they think that they can get 100,000 for it after they fix it up. It doesn't sound like they plan on fully fixing it up because if they fully fixed it up, they can get over 200,000 based off my comps, which are accurate in my opinion, at least. I guess I'm biased, but I'm always conservative in running comps. I try to keep it within a quarter mile if possible, try to keep it within the same subdivision if possible, within 200 square feet on the home, within 2,500 square feet on the lot, within 10 years of, I'm very confident in my ability to run comps. So I have ARV sitting at 215. And based on my math, if they really did replace the roof and it's brand new, I could probably go upwards of 110 and still take down $15,000 assignment fee, and I'm carving out $25,000 profit for my end buyer, as well as commissions. I'm taking all that into consideration. So that's frustrating. I really, after running the comps on that, the only reason I didn't call her right back is because I wanted to let it breathe a little bit, and it's clear that I just need to let it breathe a little bit more. But I also want to be right in front of her when she does decide, because what's going to happen is they're going to do the repairs that they're going to do, which is not really anything. The roof is the biggest thing that they've done, and everything still needs to be done. The bathrooms, the kitchen, the interior, carpet paint, probably landscaping, just the works, probably new AC. I don't think it has a central AC. So I mean, they don't. I don't. Based on what she's talking about, they're probably not going to do all that anyways, which is why they're only expecting 100 once it's all fixed up. But I don't know what I was just gonna say. Oh, I just need to be there when they come along to the point where they're like, I don't want to do any more repairs. You know what I mean? Like they're just burning money. They're not burning money because they will get more for it. Just like I said, the fact that they're replacing the roof indicates now I can go higher. You know what I mean? But I foresee that at one point in the near future, they are going to be like, all right, we just need to sell this place. We got way in over our heads about the repairs. We thought that we knew what we were doing. We didn't. We ended up wasting money, losing money. These people aren't investors by any stretch of the imagination. I do believe that this is just their second. I hate to say it, but they themselves don't own. They rent. They are renting an apartment right now, and they are renting out this house with the tenant in it. But now I don't even think the tenant's in it. It's not cash flowing anymore because they're in there replacing the roof and stuff. But I don't know. I don't know. This is just one. Again, I can go on for days about this one, but I'm just gonna leave myself a note. And she said that, oh, let me speak with my husband in a month. I have your contact information. They're always gonna say that, but I'm gonna call her back anyways. Derek offered 70K. Carmen wanted to speak with her husband about it, who was away on work trip for the next month. She is very adamant about doing the repairs herself. However, I don't foresee them doing the repairs necessary in order to sell it on the open market. Based off what she's telling me, it's going to need a whole lot for it to pass inspection. And I hate to say it as well, but I don't even think that she's replacing the roof. When we first talked, she was talking about how the roof leaks. And that was like a week ago. So I don't think that the roof has been replaced within the last week. That was on the 3rd. It was 13 days ago. I don't know. Maybe they did replace the roof within the last 2 weeks, but I would imagine that they just got somebody in there and patched the roof so that it doesn't leak. And I'm assuming that because that's how they're kind of treating all of the other quote unquote repairs or renovations they're doing to the place. The first time I talked to this woman, I thought it was going to be a realtor referral because she was like, oh no, we've already committed to doing the repairs. We've already started. And I was like, okay. And I switched gears to the realtor referral. But then I called her back just to be sure that it was, in fact, a realtor referral play. And then when I started to dig a little bit deeper, she was like, oh, yeah, we're already in the middle of our renovation. We tore down the shed in the back. My husband replaced the tile flooring in the kitchen. And, we replaced the carpet in one of the bedrooms. And I'm thinking to myself, those aren't repair. I mean, those are repairs, but that's not a project. That's not a renovation project. When I first talked to her, I thought she was going to give it the works and sell it on market for ARV, fully 2021 bright white kitchens because of all of the new appliances and the granite countertops, you know what I mean? But that's just, I can hear it in her voice. That's not what she's doing. Because if she would have told me to go pound sand long ago. She is still keeping this line of communication open because they don't really know what they want to do. And they don't want to come to the point in time where they're like, you know what, let's call Derek. Let's accept his offer. And you know what I mean? They don't want it to be out of the picture at all, which it would be if she told me, stop calling me, or we're doing the repairs, we're not going to sell it as is. You know what I mean? When I bring it up, she still says, we're still deciding on what we're going to do and what the best route to take is. She's either a master negotiator and having me jump in my price significantly, but I am leaning on the side of her and her husband just kind of being poor investors. I don't know. But to each his or her own. I'm going to follow up with her Let's say follow up with seller. Has she talked with her husband about the 70K offer? If so, uh, and they are uninterested. I want to negotiate. I want to negotiate with these people on this property. If I had somebody on the other end of the phone saying no, 70,000 isn't enough, we need this much to walk away from it as is, which in my opinion everybody should have that number at least, or at least be willing to talk about it. um then we can see, if I'm at 70 and they're like I need 130, then maybe we can come to an agreement at 100 in the middle and it still works for me. If I can get them at 70 and 80, this is a home run. Um, this may even be the first one that I consider double closing if I get it under contract. So, follow up with seller. Has she talked with her husband about the 70K offer? If so, and they are uninterested, try to pull out an asking price to in negotiations. Uh, if roof has fully been replaced, brand new, uh, might be able to offer upwards of 100K. It's the 16th today. I'm going to follow up with her 3 weeks from now in the second week of December. Boom. I see one person in here right now. I appreciate you tapping in. This is probably the longest live stream I've done. We're approaching 3 hours right now. Did a lot. I cleared my whole follow-ups. All of my past due follow-ups. Cleared them all. Well, there's one more gentleman, but I don't intend on calling him. I don't really think that's ever going to be a lead. I'll push it out a couple weeks, or maybe follow up just in the beginning of next year. So fully cleared out my follow-ups. Really happy about that. It was piling up and I kept putting it off. So now everybody who I was intending to follow up to this point in time, I have followed up with and either connected or not, and set myself future follow-ups. But it feels just really good to be able to clear the slate right here. Sent off 300 texts this morning, still kind of getting some trickling in. Sorry, no, the house is not for sale. Thank you, bye. I'm not Adrian, wrong number. Sorry, I can't talk right now. Don't text me again. Not interested. No, not interested. Not interested. Stop. Abdul does not own the property. It is not for sale. You have the wrong person. Only if you have a property to sell to me. It's my home. Don't text me again. Stop. Those are all the responses within the last hour and a half. The only one that I am interested in is only if you have a property to sell to me. I'm going to say I could. What are you looking for? You know what I mean? I may entertain that conversation, but in all likelihood, I anticipate them not texting me back if and people like that are really just being smart asses. They're trying to be funny, but at the same time, I am going to operate under the assumption that they're not trying to be funny and that they're serious. I'm going to take everything on face value always. If it's coming through text or email, if I don't hear them say it and hear the tone of their voice, I'm always going to take everything on face value. So he's telling me only if you have a property to sell me. I probably can assume that he's being a smartass, but I'm going to say, well, what are you looking for? Maybe I don't have anything for sale right now, but I definitely have some investor friends who are always looking to sell something. What areas and price points are you looking for? So that's what I'll say to him. And then I would bet a good amount of money that he just doesn't ever text back. But then I'm going to follow up with him in a week and say, hey, just writing back. Wanted to make sure and see if you're still in the market to buy something. If I was able to get you an offer on your house. And then follow up with him maybe 3 more times, to the point where he says, stop texting me. Because again, he's being a smartass, but I need confirmation that he was being a smartass. I'm not just going to assume that he is. So that's that. That's today. That's my work day pretty much in a nutshell. Sent off 300 texts. That's the last time I'm going to send texts this week because they are on an automated system. It's a drip campaign. So everybody who got added on Monday got texted today and will get texted tomorrow. Anybody who got texted today is going to get texted today, tomorrow, and Thursday. So I try to just leave Fridays text free, although people will text me back 24 hours after the text that they got on Thursday. But I try to dedicate my Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays to cold calling and just the dialer. And follow up. So that's what I'm going to do through the end of this week, I'm going to try to go really hard on the dialer. I want to generate a good amount of leads, um, and blow through these lists that I've recycled up to this point. Uh, I recently switched. If you haven't watched any of my recent videos, I've recently switched dialers from Mojo Dialer to Call Tools. So I took all of the lists in Mojo that I called through but never actually connected with the seller or the homeowner. So instead of just getting rid of that data, I transferred it all over to Call Tools, and I actually took the first mobile number that they kicked back when I skip traced it, and I brought that first mobile number over to my text software. So when you skip trace, I use batch skip tracing to skip trace. And when they give you your results, they'll give you like up to 10 numbers or something like it, but they'll parse it out in between mobile and landlines. So I just took that first mobile column, took everybody who had at least a mobile phone number and put it into my texting platform, and then took all the other numbers and put it into my dialer. And then if they don't reply to those texts through that mobile number, then I then take that mobile number and put it into my dialer, so then I can then call that mobile number. So that's what I'm able to do because I use batch skip tracing. If you are interested in using batch skip tracing, I do have a link in the description. It is a referral link. I'm not even quite sure how much money I get paid if you end up using it. It's free to sign up for batch skip tracing, and it is I think the standard is 20 cents per record, and it will give you up to 3 emails, up to 10 phone numbers, um, last known mailing address. It gives you everything you need. So again, the link is in the description. I'd appreciate it if you used it, but by all means, don't if you don't want to support. But I'm gonna know. I'm gonna know if you don't support. I got my eye on you. Anybody who does want to support, do me a favor, and you're seeing this right now. Uh, Go ahead, hit the like, subscribe, notification bell if you haven't already. If this is the type of content you're interested in, I go live at least once a day, Monday through Friday, cover my live cold calling sessions, lead follow up like I did today, texting like I did this morning. I'm going to start probably falling back on the texting live because you can't see what I'm doing on my computer. But instead, I may do some pre recorded videos and release those so that you can actually see what I'm doing on my screen. And I do those for a couple of things as well, like comping videos. I pre-record some. I have a little mini series on how I drive for dollars virtually. It's pretty much how I am generating all my leads. So if you're interested in that, I do have a mini series on my channel. I think it's called my driving for dollars process or something like that. The intent behind this whole channel was to document A to Z a deal, which I was able to do for my first wholesale deal. If you're just kind of watching right now and skipped ahead, I think I mentioned this earlier in the video, but I have done 2 deals. I live in California. I'm sourcing opportunity virtually out of Houston, Texas. I've closed 2, or rather assigned 2 deals and gotten paid on 2 deals. Um, Again, the intent behind the channel was to be able to, showcase me locking up the contract and then bringing it to the closing table, which gratefully I was able to do for my first wholesale deal. So if you kind of want to see an A to Z and end type of thing for a deal, I do have a list on my channel. I think I called it my first wholesale deal. And again, you're able to see me lock up the deal over the phone with the seller. You're able to see me, facilitate a cash for keys with the tenant. You're able to see me have conversations with movers that I hired for the tenant. Talk with my cash buyer, talk with my title company, talk with the mobile notary, just all of the moving parts that were happening. I tried my very best that when I was sitting down and able to go live before I made these phone calls, I tried my very best to do that every time. Obviously, sometimes they would call me. I would be out of the house. I would be away from my computer, and I wasn't able to document every single conversation. But for the most part, anytime that the conversation started because I was the one dialing out or texting, I made sure to go live. So it's pretty much A to Z doing my first wholesale deal, which I'm really proud of. I didn't think that it was going to happen so quickly. Again, the intention behind the channel was to do just that. I just didn't think that it was going to happen so quickly. And I'm glad that I started the channel when I did, because I think maybe just a few weeks went by and I was able to get that contract. Granted, that was my 4th contract. I did have 3 deals fall through before I closed my first. So right now on contracts to close ratio, I am 2 for 5. I think like industry standard is honestly 50%, just because of title issues, uncooperative sellers or tenants or whatever. Things are going to come up when you get the contract and you don't actually close on it. So I'm finding that to be the case. And I'm right around that 50% mark, hoping that the next contract that I get does close, which would put me exactly at 50%. But anyways, appreciate you guys. I'm kind of just ranting now, but really do appreciate you. Again, this is the longest live stream I think I had, just past 3 hours. Cleared my follow-ups, but appreciate you guys. Appreciate everybody who jumped in live here, had some conversations. Congratulations again to Jim Shorts Joe, got his first contract. He's stressing, but I understand. I think I was able to kind of ease his worries a little bit. But Jim Shorts Joe, if you're watching this, congratulations again. I'm applauding you, congratulating you. I'm here for you if you have any questions on, how to push it through title, like you were asking today. It seems like you took away some good, useful information. So I'm glad. I'm happy to help. Please do. Again, if anybody is watching this for the first time, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave a comment on this video or any of my videos. I get notified via email when somebody leaves a comment. So please feel free to leave a comment. It is not a burden to me. In fact, I encourage it. I want to be able to help those who are just starting out. I know that I'm no pro. I haven't been doing this for any longer than a year. But I do know after closing 2 deals that I am a few steps ahead of those who are just starting out in the industry, who may have kind of basic questions that I'm able to point them in the right direction. So please, I encourage you to leave your comments, questions, concerns in the comment section. And if you have any recommendations or suggestions on any type of content that you'd like to see on my channel, I invite that with open arms as well, because what I really want to do is start tailoring my content to my early subscribers. I think we just passed 30 subscribers, 31 if I'm not mistaken, as of today. So it's just a good handful of people where I'm able to really tailor my content towards that. So I've already filmed a couple of videos for like JLep is probably my biggest supporter. Filmed a couple videos for him, pre-recorded like the comping videos. I still need to film the video for him on the purchase agreement and kind of walking through that, like line item by line item, explaining what everything means. So that way, when you go to present it to the seller, you're able to present it with confidence and you have a full understanding of each line item, so that when they do have questions, you're able to address them right away with confidence and instill that confidence in the seller so that they know that they made the good decision in working with you. So I'll leave it at that. Appreciate you guys. Nothing but love. Again, if you haven't already, hit the like, subscribe, notification bell. That way you know when I'm going live. We will love to have you in future live sessions. I will see you tomorrow around midday. Appreciate y'all. Till the next one. Peace.